what we're saying is that our show is the equivalent to live.
The exact same. It's exact same thing.
Oh, it's the exact same show. And in this scenario, I guess am I Regis? No. Wait, I'm Regis and you're Kathy Lee, and then Caissie's Gelman.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Pay my therapist. I'm gonna pay Lita right now. I forgot earlier.
You're gonna pay your bills right now?
I just have to pay my therapist. Do you do that right after therapy?
I have to because I set a
Caissie,
little alarm.
Already starting off, sorry, very salty with me. I'm sorry, but you need to fucking take it down because I can't. I'm not in a place. I can't deal with it. This is Shantira's day. You're going to have to check the saltiness. I'm not having it. I'm not fucking not today.
No, I was just going to say I was a little salty because you hate counting down before we start the podcast. But when we don't count down, it's a disaster to try to edit the podcast. So it's just a small little thing to save us several hours. And so, just a little thing.
Well, I feel like we never count synced up. So
but it doesn't matter because we can,
I don't
We
need
can
to know
find
these
where it
things.
starts.
You're right.
Exactly.
I paid Lita. We counted down, but most importantly, it's Shantira's last show.
Her
For
big
now.
day.
For the time being.
Shantira's had such a big week because she
Huge
has
week.
like a big appearance in Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, the movie that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, I got to be in that movie for 2 minutes, y'all.
I remember when you got it. I was so excited.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Mexico in 2019, and then it was supposed to come out the weekend of my birthday last year, but then they pushed it another 9 months. So I didn't tell anybody anything. Hollywood break, you guys. You don't have to do this, but I don't tell anybody anything until the ink is dry, the check has been cashed, or I have officially made the cut and people have seen it. So nobody really knew about this little cameo.
I mean, I knew because we talked about it.
Yeah. But it's smart because also our friend Tom Lenk was in that movie and he was cut out.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they cut him out.
It's
so
true.
Like, even on the day that it premiered, my friend in Amsterdam watched it before I even made a post. And she was like, "You are in it," and I was like, "Okay, I'll post."
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Our friend Juan, who listens to the podcast, he also let me know he's like an entertainment reporter in Puerto Rico. And so he told me a couple weeks ago, Shantira has a whole scene. He messaged me on Instagram.
Woo! But see, even then, I was like, it could get cut.
I'm very excited to watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm super
It's very
excited to
fun.
watch it.
You guys, it costs money. It costs $19.99 to rent. I don't make the rules. I have no way of getting it to you for free. But it is good. The movie's good. And I think that's what a thing, too. Because, you ever, if you are a performer, you'll be like, hey, man, you ain't got to go to this. You don't have to pay for that. I was like, it's good. Please watch it. Don't be mad at me. It's sorry. But I think it's worth $20. It's really funny. I think a lot of people liked it. I had a really good time. Also, everybody on that movie set was so fucking nice. Kristen was so great. Annie was so great. They were so nice to me. I was only there for on set for 1 day. Kristen came into my they had to cover up all my tattoos. So she came in there when they were covering up all my tattoos and talked to me for 20 minutes. They were so kind. They let me improvise. I had really no idea what was going to be in the movie. So it was a wonderful experience, and those ladies were so great to me. So if you're wondering what those two women are like, they're very nice.
They're just the greatest. Now, Kristen Wig and I have been friends for many years, but the kind of friends where I haven't seen her in a long time. Well, wait, I guess the pandemic, no one's seen anyone in a long time.
Yeah.
But we have had dinner, but we're not besties. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And when she was filming Wonder Woman, I don't think we didn't email or text or anything. Whatever. She was gone. She was gone. Mm-hmm. And that was the year we were doing Busy Tonight.
Yes.
And I saw her at some point when she came back. I don't even remember when this was exactly, because what is time and what does it matter? But I just bring this up to tell you that she was like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm seeing you. Do you know that I watched your show every night in England when I was filming Wonder Woman, because it was always on this like one channel at like, I would get home and it would be on, and it like made me feel like I was home, like, because it's you and the way that you talk and, you know, whatever. So she was a full Busy Tonight fan from England.
I love that.
I know, which we love.
She was so great. It's like they say never meet your idols, but she's like a wonderful, kind person. I had so much fun. Also, we were in Mexico, and the snacks, R.I.P. Crafty. Those Mexican snacks, y'all. I don't know what to tell you, America. Step it up. Mexico has the fucking crafty game on fucking point.
But you know me, I grew up in Arizona. You know, I will take a chip, salsa, guacamole moment over almost any other, I would say.
It really was. I'm still trying to find them. They had these, like, you know, I don't do spice because I have the stomach of an 85-year-old man. But they had these, like, peanuts wrapped in, like, candy with, what's it called? Tajin? What's that little spice?
Tahini?
Tahini, yeah.
Powder?
They, like, put some of that on these nuts. And I was like, do I need to move to Mexico? They were so good. I only had them for like that day, and I put a bunch in a paper bag because at the end of the day, I am Florida trash, and I flew them back to America with me.
Speaking of your GERD,
yes,
this brings us to our first message for Shantira from our listeners. We'll pepper them throughout the show, I think.
Yay!
When the moment is opportune, Caissie, feel free to jump in if you see an opening. I know you have the messages as well.
Ooh, I do.
This is from someone named T. Thank you, T, because this is advice for Shantira's GERD. I'm not on Instagram. Wow. Not sure how to get in touch with Shantira. Please pass along this message. I'm just a normal person, not a doctor, not selling you anything. Just from one human to another, you've mentioned your struggles with GERD and a goal not to be on the meds for it. Thank you. I've had the same struggles and goal. I finally achieved it, and I thought I'd share how I got there. After traditional Western medicine and years of prescriptions failed me, here's what I did. I worked with a naturopath who helped me do all of the following. Keep a food diary, find your triggers. Once you find them, you don't have to eliminate them, but you learn when and how to manage them. Take natural supplements. After 2 months on them, I weaned off prescriptions and was fully off all prescriptions within a year. Now I totally manage my GERD using my supplements as needed, and I'm symptom-free after a decade of GERD pain. And then she included the supplements, which is DGL
Don't tell
capsules.
him. Don't tell him.
Oh, okay.
Just send it to me because we don't want anybody taking it and then getting mad at us.
Right. Okay, that's a good point.
Because somebody's going to take it and then who knows. But send it to me. I will try it.
I'm forwarding you this email.
Right now, yes.
Thank you.
Yes, shout out to everybody who sent me GERD information. It's been very helpful. I okay, this is so wild. So I had someone come to my house and like move my stomach.
Oh,
you know,
like an acupuncturist type
like
person?
like a chiropractor. Like they can pull your. Remember I told you I was gonna get my fucking stomach pulled down.
Yes,
because I watch like 100,000 million chiropractic videos, you guys. I love them. I think they're so cathartic. I like to watch people get relief all over the place, primarily in Texas.
the cracking.
A lot of Texans get their backs cracked. But I did this thing also, like, don't sue me. I did, it's called visceral manipulation, this massage therapist. And basically I like to think about it like a cat kind of doing, kneading the bread, if you
Kneading
will.
biscuits. Yeah.
Kneading biscuits. I, got someone to like help move my stomach. So like I went to a doctor, my Western medicine doctor, who's fantastic. You're great, doc. And I was like, my GERD's out of control. And he just upped my prescription, which I didn't think was I was like, I don't think that's it. Like, they're always like, lose weight, give you more drugs. And I'm like, I don't need to do either of those things. So, like, truly, this is the story. Like, I got my breast reduction, and, like, I'm literally, like, a half an inch taller than I was before. Like, all of my back and my neck all straightened out because I've been hunched over forever. And I was like, I think that when I stood up straight, like, my esophagus pulled my stomach, which, like, I'm not a doctor, but I was like, it seems logical that if you're hunched over for 15 years and then you straighten up, everything moves. Also, for people who don't know, when you get a breast reduction, the weight on my chest was gone so that my lungs can literally take in more oxygen. So
I
my
just
lungs
breathed deeper. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but
Yes.
as you were saying it, I was
did
doing
hear it.
it.
Yes. So my lungs and my ribs are expanding. And I was like, I'm not a doctor, but I feel like when your ribs move and your lungs expand, like, things can be shifting around. And my stomach was hurting really bad. And then I, like, got my stomach moved over and my esophagus stretched. And I feel way better. And I think that if anybody out there feels bad about their body, like, sometimes you're right.
But wait, can I ask you a question about this? Because I
Yeah.
do occasionally, I used to get it a lot last year, lymphatic drainage massage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they spend a great deal of time in my body cavity, and it feels like they're, like, moving stuff around.
Yeah, they probably are. I mean, like,
But
the
it's
guy I
really
saw-
soft and gentle. It's
It
like
really
pawing.
is.
It's pawing.
Yeah, it's just like kind of like the cat doing
Yeah.
I really felt like that. And I wanted, because the doctor was like, he was going to do another endoscopy on me, and they're like $1,000, and I have to go under anesthesia and be out of work for the whole day. And I was like, I don't know, man, I'm gonna let somebody move my stomach before we do all that. And he moved it, and I feel better. So
I mean,
I'll keep you
so
posted.
is it the kind of thing where, like, you got adjusted? Do you have to
Yeah.
like continue to get adjusted? Because, like, if you're a person who goes, I've gone periodically to chiropractors throughout my life. Like, if you're a person who kind of needs their body to be adjusted every once in a while, sometimes you have to, like, keep going back and keep doing
Yeah.
it, right? So
Well,
is that
I
what's
think
going to
I
happen with the stomach?
I think that I will. And, like, my partner said it best. It was more like a triage, not like okay, this is a steady thing we're going to be doing all the time. Like,
Okay.
my stomach was fucking killing me. I think it has been shifting for over a month. And, like, it didn't matter how many milligrams of fucking omeprazole I took. That wasn't the thing. So, like, I think my major thing was, like, my body is different. And, like, I made some adjustments ensued. And I think that, like, I will continue to see them. But also, like, I haven't gotten adjusted or done anything in a year. And, like, usually even on your worst case scenario, when people who, like, don't get massages, they'll go, like, once a year, once every 6 months, for your birthday, for Mother's Day. And I think this year's been really traumatic for people who, like, get adjusted or get a massage or treat themselves to facials, because, like, we've all, like, most of the stuff that we do to take care of ourselves is, like, outside of the house. Like,
for
we
sure.
go to the movies, we go to dinner, we go to a doctor's office to get
We
somebody.
see our
that, I don't know.
friends.
Yes. So I think that, like, just seeing that guy for the first time in over a year, like, I think that it was like my body was like, okay, this will do for now. So we'll see. If I go back to him, I'll keep you guys posted. But he was great. I felt way better. I don't have to get an endoscopy. And obviously, like, I believe that, like, when it comes to your body, like, the Western medicine, especially here, like, I did everything like that first. I went to my doctor. I got a new prescription. I, like, stopped eating everything that I like and drank, like, warm water and ate beans for, like, a week. Like, I seriously was like, I'm not going to eat anything. I'm going to see what it is. And it wasn't anything I was eating. It was literally just like, I have a new body and my organs are moving around. So, like,
know
I
what?
felt really good.
I think that's
about that.
interesting. Weird stuff happens like that post-pregnancy for women too. And you just have to, like, your body, like, everything's in different places, and it takes a minute to, like, for your body to
back.
settle. It's like an old house, kind of, maybe.
Yeah.
That you, like, put a new floor in, and then you have to wait because the house has to settle with the new floor in it. Is that
Yeah,
is that a good analogy?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I mean-
'cause it was a whole month because like I had my surgery and I was like, I feel great. And then like literally like I've been standing up, not like a little hunchback for the first time in over a decade. And my stomach was like, we usually are down here. Why are you pulling me up here? What
You
are
really
doing?
do
So,
look
yeah.
taller. You look taller.
I am. Also, like, I know
Your
you guys said
neck.
this before, but my neck, it looks like I got a little nip tuck on my neck because
You really do.
everything pulled, it all pulled back.
It's wild.
It's really wild. Bodies are wild, but I'm like, my girlfriend used to be taller than me, but now I'm taller than her. Legit.
Insane.
Because I like grew. So it's pretty funny.
Well, Shantira's leaving us for a time, and you will be back to check
I will.
in. People are very sad. I want you to know. Myself
I
leading
know.
the charge.
I know, but I'm gonna be around. I'll still be on the interwebs, and then people be DMing me. I'll be talking to y'all.
and we can always catch you on the Amber Ruffin show. Can you tell anybody else can you tell people the other exciting show that you're writing for?
I can, but like I
But
just
you don't
didn't
want
tell
to.
you about it. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it until the end of when I work on it. I might say something, but like right now I'm just gonna work on it and then
Okay.
just
But you got
chill.
another really exciting writing job that you're
Yeah,
enjoying a
I
lot.
got another job. I am. I'm liking it a lot. But now I have 2 full-time writing jobs. I basically
That's a lot.
write from 7 in the morning till like 4:30 in the afternoon.
And also, hopefully, Saved by the Bell is going to come back.
Oh, yeah. Saved by the Bell is coming back. But full disclosure to everyone out there, I love you, but I will not be coming back to Saved by the Bell because the schedule doesn't work out for the job I have now.
Oh,
Got
the new
it.
job or Amber Ruffin job?
Oh, the new job. So
Okay.
I cannot
Do every. Turns out you can't write on every show.
You can't,
I can't
do
write
everything.
I can't do everything. So like I won't be back. Like right now I don't think so. I mean like if they wanted me to come do punch ups at the end of that season, you know, keep it open. But right now I wouldn't be able to because the schedule overlaps.
Elizabeth Berkley texted me, and she was like, "I really would love to like come on the podcast at some point." And I just like would love it if it was when Shantira's there because, and I was like, okay, yeah,
I love her.
When
I
Shantira
love
comes
her.
back. She's the greatest.
She's the nicest. We
nicest
chat
person.
in we chat via Instagram sometimes. She's so nice. This is how nice Elizabeth Berkley is, y'all.
Like the nicest.
Literally the nicest. I don't know what the equivalent to improv is to anybody else, but like anybody you know in your life who's ever done local theater that you did not want to go to and hasn't invited you. This is how nice Elizabeth Berkley is because I brought up that I did improv. This is before the panini. And she was like, tell me when and I will come. And I was like, you don't have to do that because improv is, you're Elizabeth Berkley. You don't have to come watch my musical improv. And she was like, that sounds fun. I want to come. Gave me her phone number and demanded me tell her. And then the panini happened. But the thing is, she's so nice, she would go see local improv. That's how nice
She would.
Elizabeth Berkley is.
I love that. But also, I'm sure she just really liked you.
Yeah, she
Oh,
really liked
absolutely.
you, and she's a
so
really
nice.
genuinely sweet person. We met through mutual friends years ago. We go to the same facialist in LA. We would see each other at the facialist from time to time. Every time I run into her, seriously, every time I run into her, I just adore her. And
She's so nice.
a lovely, lovely, wonderful human.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, we can't exactly tell you what job Shantira is doing. You'll find out someday.
You'll find out someday. It's
you keep
fine.
watching her social needs and keep watching Amber Ruffin's show and keep following on Insta. And we're lining up some guest co-hosts that are gonna be stepping in from time to time, and then like we're gonna play it like Kelly Ripa when Michael Strahan left, and just like revolving door. They also did it. I guess they also did that when whoever left, like Regis, right?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
they do it when
Yeah.
Regis left?
Yeah.
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 They did a bunch of rotations.
Kelly's had to do it quite a
They
few
did it.
times.
They did it when Kathy Lee left Regis.
Yes.
They did it.
That's
They
the-
first
there's a
did it
long
when
tradition.
Kathy Lee left. This is essentially, guys, what we're saying is that this is our show is the equivalent to live.
The exact same.
It's
exact same thing.
Almost the exact same show. And in this scenario, I guess am I Regis? No. Wait, I'm Regis and you're Kathy Lee, and then Caissie's Gelman. No, isn't
okay,
Gelman
all right.
In charge of everything.
The guy that stands there and annoys everyone.
No, they
no,
love
Gelman's
Gelman.
in charge of everything.
Okay, Caissie, you're
No,
really
well,
PMSing today, or something is happening. You are like seriously on one. What the fuck is happening? All right, Caissie, what's happening? Tell us what's happening.
Nothing's happening.
Why are you annoyed at me?
I'm just,
What have I done? Did I do
not
something?
Annoyed at you. I'm
Okay,
not annoyed at you.
Did you hit a
I'm
wall
just like
with
my normal amount of salty.
I think
Yes,
Shantira back me up. I
I
think she's
hit a wall with everything.
Here's the thing. I think Gelman's in charge of everything and makes a lot of money. I think you're Regis. I don't know if I'm Kelly. I feel like I might be. Honestly, I feel more like a what's his name from American Idol? What's his name?
Ryan Seacrest.
Ryan Seacrest.
You
I
are
feel like
Ryan
a Ryan-
Seacrest because
I
you
feel
have
like I'm a
4,000
Ryan-
jobs.
Because I have 4,000 jobs.
That's right.
And a decent shoe game.
Yeah.
So that's what I
And
think.
you're Seacrest because you're like, not only am I doing these like on camera jobs, Barb and Star, but I'm also behind the scenes American Idol.
Producing the Shaws of Sunset.
Wait, now I'm conflating all of the things. But then also I'm doing the thing that like is my technical talent, i.e. you're writing on multiple shows, i.e. he hosts multiple things.
Multiple shows. Yeah.
You are Seacrest. You're a Seacrest. You're a full
I'm a
fucking
Seacrest.
Seacrest.
There you go.
I'm a full-blown Seacrest, baby. Full-blown.
And I
What's
am-
the other guy's name?
I am a Kelly
You're-
Ripa because I'm
You
like,
truly are.
yeah, I'm an actress who likes to host things.
And she's been
Yeah.
doing it since she was a teenager, just
Same.
like you.
Did either of you ever do any soap opera stuff?
I auditioned for a soap opera.
Which one?
I didn't get it. I
Which
don't know.
one?
Which
though?
one?
No, I don't know. I don't
You don't
remember.
know?
It was back. It
Oh.
was back before I got Freaks and Geeks. It was like one of my first auditions. I auditioned for a soap opera. My very first audition ever was for the Angelina Jolie movie Girl Interrupted.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Who are you supposed to be?
I auditioned for the part that Elizabeth Moss played, the girl
Here's
who
the
was
thing.
burned.
Okay, I don't
okay.
remember her because I just remember Winona, and then I remember R.I.P. Brittany, Murphy, and then Angelina. Those are the three that I remember the most from that movie.
Elizabeth Moss was like a small supporting role in it. And she was like the girl that had burns all over her face and her hands
face,
or
yes.
something.
I might
And that
have
was
to
my
go
very
back
first
and
audition
rewatch
ever.
that. But like not right now. It's not really 2021. I'm not really in the mood for Girl
Yeah,
Interrupted.
I'm not
We'll
either.
see.
Yeah, it's not. It's a little
I might just go to the
little too
Wikipedia.
dark.
Do you guys ever do that? Whenever you think about a movie and you're like, I don't think I want to watch this, but I'll just go read the Wikipedia.
Everything
No.
lately, I feel like, do you know how like when you have like a sensitive stomach and you look in the fridge and you're like, better not eat it, that, better not eat
Yeah.
that. That's how I am with entertainment right now. I like just
Yes.
look at the menu and I'm like, oh, I can't have that right now. Nope, that's not going to work for me. So
No.
I'm very like sensitive toward entertainment at the
That's
moment.
how I feel. This is why I don't watch reality TV because it makes my stomach hurt. It makes me,
Me
so
too.
sad.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
That's why I only watch Blown Away. Like it has to be very low stakes. My girlfriend right now is watching The Joker for work, and I was like, "You got to watch that by your fucking self. I'm never gonna be in a place to watch that. I'm not in the mood."
I never saw The Joker, but I also just feel like you wouldn't fucking stand for that movie anyway. Like I just feel like
Yeah,
you'd be
I
like,
wouldn't.
no, I have no interest in this bullshit.
I just like, but
think
I also
we got
know
the
ju-
idea.
just from I get it. I've seen enough Batman movies, but I also know like, have you ever seen like the tint of a movie, like the whatever the filter of that movie
Yes.
is? I was like, emotionally, I'm not in a place to watch that filter for 2 hours. Like, I just
Oh,
know
yeah,
that
for
it's
sure.
like grimy and not my vibe. So whenever he was coming down the stairs, I was like, that filter looks like it's gonna make me upset. So I did not watch it. So that's how I feel about the Joker. Also, do not come at me, Joker. He won an Oscar. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I mean,
Stands.
I'm not interested.
It's also kind of the king of comedy, right? So it's like the Joker is very similar to the king of comedy.
What's
so
the
if you
king
saw
of
that,
comedy?
it's fine. The King of Comedy is a really old movie about a guy who aspires to be a talk show host. Sandra Bernhard was in it. And he just sort of like cracks up, and yeah, it's basically the Joker, but it's just about a guy who aspires to like be a late night talk show host, kind of.
Who directed
That's
the
really
Joker?
hard.
Is it Darren Aronofsky? Did he direct it?
No, it's the guy
Todd
who did The
Phillips.
Hangover. It's the guy
Todd
who did
Phillips.
The Hangover. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Both like very self-serious, annoying white guys.
Yes.
Both
I
of
can't
those guys.
remember. He was. I just remember that like he was like really mad. He was like, I can't do hangovers anymore because comedy's changed and that sucks. And I was like, well, you could do a hangover and you could just adjust your comedy to so the way that society respects now, but I guess go off. And then he made the Joker and now he's more successful than ever. So it doesn't matter.
Not if you're a white dude. No.
No. Wait, is there
Generally
anything that I've
speaking.
seen that I like? Like I don't want to talk about fucking stupid Todd Phillips. I do love Blown Away. I love this glass blowing show. Check it out.
I want to watch it.
First season,
Even that one's
the
too
best.
tense for me, Shantira.
Really? The first season's nice because it ends the way I think everybody wanted to. That's why I like the first season. But like I really like Blown Away. And then Barb and Star is really good. And then I watched the Gen Z, what's the fucking All the Boys I Loved Before, Always and Forever. The third installment of that movie. I watched it yesterday. And you know what? It was good. It was good enough for
Oh my
me
God,
to
they've
watch.
had 3 installments of that.
Yes. Because
I feel like the first one was just like a month ago.
I thought that it took longer for them to come out, but you're right. The last one came out like last year. People liked it so much they really churned it out.
Did I tell you guys about how I thought that the Tiger Woods documentary was a serial killer documentary? Did I talk about this?
No, but like
No.
people didn't really explain a lot about it either. They were just like Tiger, and I was like, "What's this about?" And then I realized it was about Tiger Woods.
Basically what happened is that I don't like watching at this point in my life. I'm like you, Shantira. Like I won't watch things that are scary, that are upsetting, unnecessarily. Like I don't want to put it in my
something
head.
nice.
Yeah, I don't want to put like bad ideas, thoughts. I don't want the images from crime scenes in my brain.
Yeah,
I don't want to watch that shit anymore. I watched a lot of it like in my 20s and maybe early 30s. I guess.
We've all had an SVU run.
Yes, I mean my
Everybody-
SVU run.
for
I've
sure.
told you about this, where Emily Beebe at one point came home from work when we were living together, and she was like, "You have to stop watching SVU." And I was like, "Why?" And she was like, "Because you like sit like you're like losing your shit." And I guess I had like gone for a walk with Henry, our dog that we shared, R.I.P. Henry, and I was in my head thinking about all the DNA that I could leave behind if I got snatched. And I shared that with Emily. I was like,
And she
I
was like,
thought like I could like scratch my nails on the ground and you would and she's like, what the fuck? You have to stop watching SVU. But
Yeah.
anyway, so
But also, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
it's good to think like that.
you have to I feel like everybody's done it. It's like, how would I escape this train? Like, we've all done it. Like,
I guess
I've had a couple
you guys. I told you about the pull and the twist that I learned many years ago on. I think it was on Oprah. I'm not even kidding. Anyway, the point being, Mark, because he's like whatever, a dude in his 40s, does enjoy still watching those fucking shows.
Yeah.
And there's a new documentary about some killer in LA, the
Yeah.
Night Stalker or something.
That sounds right.
Yeah, the Night Stalker.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, he watches it when I'm like not around.
Mhm.
I had come home. I was still working. Oh yeah, because I was working a lot. That's just recently that I stopped working. I came home. I walked into the bedroom and I was like, he had gone up to check on one of the kids. So, but I walk into the bedroom and I was like, oh my God, he has the Night Stalker documentary is on. Oh fuck. And
No.
I was like, but also kind of curious, because I do have that curiosity,
Yeah,
right?
You
A
want to
little
know,
bit.
but like,
Yeah.
but advice I've gotten from someone in this Zoom chat: once you know, you can't unknow.
You can never unknow
It's
it.
true.
You can never unsee
Can't
it.
unsee it.
Okay, but I was taking my jewelry off. I was like getting ready for bed and I was like, I'm just going to leave it on. I'm going to see what happens, right? Because I am also kind of curious because it took place in LA and and this guy is like talking.
Yeah.
This music's super creepy and this guy's talking and he's like, and he would just always have like a new beautiful girl and he would take her out onto the green and he would be teaching her. And then afterwards, they would go into his RV for cocktails.
No.
And I was like,
That
oh, God,
sounds
that
bad.
sounds so creepy. That's so creepy. And then the guy's like, and I mean, Tiger was always there. He was always there. And I was like, wait, what? Wait, why was Tiger Woods around for the Night Stalker? That's so weird. And it wasn't. It wasn't at all. It was just the Tiger documentary that I thought was about. I thought they were talking about his dad being like philandering with like ladies.
Yeah.
But what I thought was that it was about the Night Stalker who would take ladies to golf and then murder them. That was in my head what was happening. And I like fully thought it. But can I just say that if you do watch, because I replayed it, if you do watch that part, they play scary music. It does seem like they're talking about a murderer.
I mean, anybody
It just
who-
proves there's not that much difference between being like an overbearing golf dad and a serial killer.
I mean, you guys, cocktails in an RV. Come on, nobody. I would never.
I would
Never.
never.
Also, to our women friends out there, if someone invites you to have a cocktail in an RV, say no.
No,
100%.
You
Say
deserve
no.
better.
No,
You deserve better than to have a cocktail in an RV.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not good.
Okay, Caissie, what are you doing your best at this week?
Well, I'm in my laundry room recording this podcast because I have a whole entire office, but it's on the other side of the house. And my neighbors are hosting some type of child screaming party.
I'm
So,
sorry. Last I checked, it's still a pandemic.
Yeah, I don't know that it is for them. I feel like they've been more relaxed about it than I might have been, but I don't know. I don't know their business. They have kids, whatever. So anyway, I'm on the side of the house in the laundry room where our neighbor on the other side is like a 98-year-old lady and she's very quiet. So that's what I'm doing. What am I doing my best at?
Yeah,
this
that's not what
week?
you're doing. That's just your location.
That's just my location, which I mean, like, I'm glad to be located somewhere. That's a treat. What am I doing? Oh, I've just been like, I've been active on my local Buy Nothing group on Facebook, which is like when you just tell people, I have this. If anyone's interested in this, you can come pick it up. And, and then other people sometimes are like, oh, I'm hoping for an ironing board. Does anybody have an ironing board? But so anyway, I gave away a bookshelf, a bathroom lighting fixture, and a medicine cabinet that no longer fit our decor. So
Okay.
that,
First of all, I don't know what Buy Nothing is, but it sounds like Craigslist.
But for your neighborhood,
it's not exactly that, because Craigslist is mostly like you're trying to sell things. This is just like they're localized groups in your neighborhood. They have like a limited amount of members. You don't know about it because you're not on Facebook, but it happens on Facebook.
Shit.
And so you can. One thing that makes me laugh is that like some of the things like every group, I'm in like a million groups, and especially Facebook groups, and I stay in them for the entertainment value.
Yeah.
Because like I stay in every mom group because I just love moms being like, you know, should I throw a pool party? And then I love seeing 100 people be like, no. And also the Buy Nothing group. I hope I don't get kicked out for revealing this, but like it's funny because so many people will be like, does anybody want this 3/4 of a box full of macaroni? It's gluten-free. I didn't see the label when I bought it and I don't like it. So there's that entertains me, and I always want to see who takes the 3/4 of a box of macaroni. But then in this Buy Nothing group, because it's in Los Angeles, one person was like, does anyone want this full set of professional juggling swords? And I was like, yeah, that's a good thing to give away. Yeah.
I love
So,
that.
you know.
Well, I also feel like one of the things I miss about Chicago, and like even though I miss nothing about New York, I appreciate this part, is alleys. Like you can't really do that anymore. But like in
I
a friend
love
of mine,
alleys.
When I moved from Chicago, I put a full futon and a full chest of drawers in an alley, went inside for lunch, and they were gone when I came back outside. I fucking love that. And then I had a friend in New York. If you live in New York, this is what he hit me to. I didn't get to do it because I left. But he was like, there's so many bougie schools. So like if you go to like Tisch, when they're move out day, it's just a bunch of rich parents putting out crazy fancy shit that they bought for their kids who fucking go to Tisch. So he would always wait till move out day at the bougie dorms and then go to the alley. So like in LA, we like don't you like if you want to get rid of something, you have to like call somebody. You got to wrap it up. You can't just like.
Yeah.
Also, I love it in Chicago and New York. It's like you want to get rid of something, nobody knows it's yours. You put a couch out, everybody knows it's you. Everybody, they don't have anything else to do. So like I really like that giveaway thing because that's something I miss from Chicago. Like I got rid of a couch and a bed. I did get myself a bookshelf and a chest of drawers from an alley. It's really how you shop in your 20s. So shout out to that little group you're in because that sounds really helpful for people who are missing out.
Yeah,
on
the point
alleys.
is to like not. The point is to not buy anything new that you don't need to spend money on if somebody else has it that they just want to give it away.
Do people also request?
Yes, like one lady was in the middle of baking cupcakes and she literally didn't have powdered sugar. And so she was like, if anyone can lend me 4 cups of powdered sugar
4
right
cups?
now, I'll like
That's a
return
whole
the favor. Yeah, exactly. But she was in the middle of baking, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, so stuff like that. But sometimes people will be like, yeah, I need like an extra tire for my Prius if anyone has one laying around. And it's surprisingly
this is
people
amazing.
Yeah, surprisingly, people will have it. One time I belonged to one in Connecticut, and my son Lincoln had a really nice cashmere sweater that he had gotten for a gift, and he just started to like want to dress nicely, and I accidentally washed it in the laundry, and it shrank to like the size of an oven mitt, and I felt so terrible. And I was like, I have to tell Lincoln that I destroyed his like fancy sweater, his one fancy sweater. And then that afternoon, this woman happened to be like, I got my husband a bunch of cashmere sweaters at Brooks Brothers and he does not like them at all. They're size medium. Does anybody want them? And I was like, me, please, I'll come right now. So I got like 5 brand new cashmere Brooks Brothers sweaters from someone who like, it was no thing to him to just hang them out on his porch.
All
love
right.
it.
Well,
I love it.
I'm
I love
going to
a
need you to
bougie
get
alley.
into this group. A group.
The reason why I joined is because I'm looking for this very specific mid-century modern like fireplace, this Swedish fireplace.
I know what you're talking about 'cause I saw
And,
your stories. Yeah.
Yeah, I put it on my stories because I'm like, what am I? I'm drunk if I think that anyone's gonna be like, hey, does anybody want this fireplace? Because they're
Wait, what is it?
very popular, and it's like a Swedish Malm fireplace. There's like
I'm looking it up.
You'd recognize it if you saw it from like mid-century modern homes. People used to leave them out for the garbage,
How do you spell it?
Malm. There's Malm, there's Preway, there's Firehood. There's a bunch of different brands, but people used to just toss them out in the garbage. They're really colorful metal fireplaces. And you used to be able to get one for like $50. After I put that story up, Shantira, so many people are like, "Oh, I got one 7 years ago for $200," and I'm like, "Well, now they're $3,000."
Whoa.
Is that true? I can't find it.
That's too much money.
That's so crazy. Wait,
That's too
because
much. But that
will
makes
keep
sense.
an eye out. You know, I love like antique stores and like,
Yes.
and I like, and we've been going upstate, and well,
Yeah.
now it's snowy, but I bet we could find one upstate.
Maybe. They're kind of big to ship. Our friend Kendra, who's your makeup artist, was also like, "I'm looking for one too for
Oh,
this
I
place."
see.
And
I see. There's one on
you know the one.
overstock.com for $839.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of like a knockoff of one.
Right,
It's
right.
like a modern one. I'm looking for like a vintage one, but anyway, it's just part of doing that. It's like fun to look forever, and then you're so
Yeah.
excited when you get it, and then like the next day you just start wanting something else. Consumerism.
We love it. If I see anything in an alley over here, there are no alleys here.
Yeah,
but
if
if I see
you-
somebody put it in the front of my building, I'll stand there and call dibs.
If you see a red, orange, yellow, I would even take a green. I'd even take a white Malm fireplace from the 60s or 70s. That's just what I'm living for at this point. But
I
I don't
love
think I'm going
it.
to get one on the Buy Nothing group.
Well, you know
keep us
what?
posted.
You put it into the universe and you never fucking
you never know.
You never know. But I do want to join one of those groups because I often have like random ass free shit that I want to just
Yeah.
get rid of. Like, I wish that if I had still lived in Hollywood, I don't.
Aw.
The best
okay,
part
guys.
is people come get it. People come and get it. Unlike an alley, like you have to put it out there and you're like, I hope somebody comes to get this. You put it on that
Yeah.
fucking website, on that group, you can just be like, be at my house at 2 to pick this up. I love that. I want to get rid
That's
of someone's
right.
stuff. But what are you gonna do? There's no alleys here. Sorry, LA.
There were no alleys in LA. And also, I do feel like it's tricky to get rid of stuff sometimes. Sometimes it's hard
It
to get
is
rid of
here.
stuff.
Well, it's hard
Yeah,
here
it-
because like you can everybody can see you. So like you really got to make your effort
Yeah.
to not throw some shit away because somebody gonna see you and then it might be there for 3 days and it's like we know you put that whole fucking chest of drawers on the sidewalk. We know it's fucking you. So yeah, I don't.
My
like, I like
older
alleys.
my older son saw a set of mid-century modern like dining chairs that he was like they have like a couple things wrong with them that need to be fixed. And so he was like, but maybe somebody's just like moving and they just have them on the sidewalk right now. But after I guess they were out there for a few days, he was like, okay, these are like for the garbage. So he took them and restored them and is like in the process of trying to sell them. But it was like, like an $800 set of chairs or something. And
Yeah.
so, and a nice little project, a nice little panini project for him to do.
I love it.
Shantira, what are you doing your best at this week?
I'm doing my best at kind of finishing my kind of to-do list, I guess. Like I sometimes friends and stuff send me their scripts and like I'll like read them and give them notes and stuff. And since it's President's Day, like after we finish the podcast, I have some time. So I'm gonna go through like 3 or 4 of my friends' scripts and like just spend like a little afternoon giving notes and reading stuff so that my friends can hopefully like sell stuff and get jobs. So I think I'm doing my best at like kind of paying it forward.
That's
'cause so many
nice.
of my friends have read stuff for me and it's hard to sit down like, just so everyone knows, like when you ask someone to give you notes, this isn't like a fucking slight to my friends, but for people coming up in the industry, like when you ask someone to give you notes, like if they're good at it, they like sit down and read your stuff
Right.
and go through it with a fine tooth comb and like genuinely try to help you. So it's not like, oh, if you have time, like nobody does. I do not have time, but I will find time
Yeah.
for the people who like you care about. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm doing my best at getting through and giving notes to some of my buds. That's what I'm doing.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I really appreciate that, especially because my husband, Mark Silverstein, who's a very accomplished screenwriter and director of the movie I Feel Pretty, he recently did that for me on a script. And I a little bit was like, hey, have you read that script yet? And he's like, no, it's going to take me a minute because I got to do it. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Because I didn't fully understand the comprehensive situation that he was like signing himself up for. You know what I mean? Like, I just was like, just read my script and just tell me like what your thoughts are. And he literally was like, he gave me such good notes that I'm like, oh shit, this is like a whole new world. And it took a lot of effort and thought, and he spent like a morning doing it. So
yeah,
that's really nice to do for your friends.
I think that like one of the things that some of my mentors have taught me too is that like it's not going to be like, you might have like really great bosses. I have, thanks you guys, but it's like it's not necessarily going to be the people who are where you want to be that are pulling you up. It's like everybody to the left and right of you who you work with, that you come up with, and when they get a job, then they recommend you. Or when like they get a job, then they tell you how you can get a job. Like all my friends who were assistants got their jobs from friends who were assistants. It's like a little bit of nepotism, but it doesn't usually lead to millionaires, right? And it's like that's how you get like it's not just that. Like I got my job at like the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago through some friends. So it's like you read your friends' work and then they read your work, and then that's how you can recommend them for stuff. Like, oh man,
for sure.
I read this great. Also, you guys, an hour-long drama. You have no idea how much fucking work goes into writing like a Grey's Anatomy. It's like a fucking 80 pages of stuff. So like, if somebody sends, it's like, will you read my script? And it's like a fucking episode of The Good Place, like cool, that's like 30 pages. You could do it as long as it takes you to watch an episode of TV. That's how long it's going to take you to read their episode of TV and then give them notes. Okay, so like cut your friends some slack if you sent them an hour-long drama.
I didn't send Mark an hour-long drama, just FYI.
They're so hard. Shout out to people who do that, because I do not. That's not my ministry.
No. It's never been my calling either.
No. Not my ministry.
It's also Shantira. I was just talking to my friend Cora Harrington about this. She doesn't work in TV. She's the lingerie addict. You might know her from online. She has books and stuff about lingerie. She's a lingerie star.
I'm very into lingerie.
Yeah, she's amazing. But we were just talking about sometimes what, like, when people are asking for notes, I was saying that I like to clarify what they're really hoping to get.
What they want,
to,
yeah.
You know? Yeah, like, do you just want me to tell you, like, that you did a good job and, like, keep at it? Or do you want, like, a line-by-line breakdown? Because sometimes I've done the line-by-line breakdown and given it back to people and they're like, you know, and I'm like, oh, you just wanted me to say good job.
Yeah.
For finishing. Yeah.
So
yeah.
This guy who I went to high school with, it's actually very strange, but whatever. It doesn't even matter. A guy that I went to high school with got my email from a mutual friend and asked if he could send me something to, like, I was just like very unclear about the whole transaction. I did respond because I was just like, okay, fine, you can send me this thing for me to look at. And then he's like followed up every other day since it was like delivered to my house, which is in and of itself intense. And I've just been politely ignoring the emails as they've come in because, like, calm down, and also like, okay, calm down. But this morning was like, it's actually interesting because like Mark did read the script for me over the weekend and gave me these notes, and like I was going over it with my writing partner and like the girl that I'm writing this pilot with, and I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I know what I'm gonna do. I can't take these fucking emails every other day from this guy. It's been a week, you know? So I'm like, I wrote back and I was like, just to clarify, what is it that you're looking for in terms of feedback? Like, I just wanted you to know I did get the thing safely. Thank you for sending. Just need to clarify, what is it that you're looking for from me specifically in terms of feedback for you to take next steps, because he was like, I'm very excited to take next steps and blah 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 blah. And I was like, okay,
Like, what are your next steps? Yeah.
what's happening here?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Because like, if you don't even know what conversation you're having with somebody, like,
Right.
you have no fucking clue. Like, what are we doing? Anyway, I felt really good about it, and he did respond, but I haven't read it yet, so we'll see.
I mean, I think that this is especially for the industry, but like I had someone who asked me to if I would connect them with my reps, and like I love my reps, and I don't just send them shit willy nilly. So I was like, send me your sample, and because like if it's really really good, then I'll send it to, because also like I'm not trying to embarrass myself being like, hey, people who thought that I was good enough to represent, this is my taste. Do you want to represent these people? And I was like, hey, I don't usually do this, but will you send me your sample? Crickets. It's been over a year. Have yet to hear from them yet. So like people, I find when we talk about notes and specificity, so many people think that like when people are like, oh, I want to have coffee with you, oh, will you read this? They don't want actual feedback. They don't want notes. They want you to give them a shortcut to what you have.
Ooh.
And
Right.
It's very vast. And coffee is not a shortcut to a writing job. Picking my brain is not a shortcut to a writing job. And I think that is what a lot of times people will be like, I want to pick your brain. And I'll be like, okay, like what? I can tell you what I did, but you can listen to 1,000 podcasts and already know what the fuck I did to get to where I am. So like, if you are going to reach out to someone for notes, for help, you got to be able to back that shit up. You want somebody to introduce you to their agents? Where's your sample? You want somebody to give you notes? For what? Do you want a joke punch up? Do you want me to tell you where a story's good? Do you want me to just tell you congratulations? You finished a project?
But listen,
yeah.
Our area of work is this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we all work in this field. And
yeah.
But this is not a unique situation. People get asked all the time.
This is universal answer.
I'm looking for like a career change. Can I pick your brain? Can I do this? Can I do that? And what you said, this is one of the many reasons, Shantira, why we're going to miss you so intensely on this podcast. But what you said, like coffee is not like a shortcut for you getting the career that I had. Like you have to like come in with something. You have to bring something, and you have to tell me exactly what it is that you're hoping to get from this if I'm going to give you my time and my energy and my expertise in whatever field it is.
And that's not
really
valuable. It's not a Hollywood break, right? If you want to be a teacher, if you want to be a scientist, people's time is really precious. Also, like, I say this too, like, not that other jobs are more important, but like, you're going to talk to a teacher, they're like working their ass off already. They're already doing stuff out. So like, I think about like, how much you make an hour, right? Not to be a dick, but like what they're doing is they're giving up an hour of whatever they do to make money or to relax. Those are the two things people are doing. They either use that extra time to figure out a way to make money from it, or they use that extra time to like decompress, to heal, to rest, right? So if you're asking somebody for their time, like think about what you're asking. If you're asking a mom with 3 kids if you can have coffee with her and all you want her to do is give you a job, fucking send an email and ask for a job, dude. Because that hour is so much. Like, it's not just the hour. It's the getting there. It's the talking to other people, telling them that you're not going to be available because you're doing this thing. So I think that, like, know whether or not you want advice or whether you want a shortcut. Because I'm telling you right now, I know people who are pretty high up. It's really fucking hard to get a shortcut, no matter what it is. Like, your dad's got to own some shit. Like,
I've never had a shortcut.
I cannot get you a shortcut.
We don't have, after all these years that we've all been doing this, there's no shortcuts.
There's no shortcut.
Still.
There's no shortcuts.
We're still auditioning. We're still trying out for cheerleading every job, you know, and waiting to hear if your name's on the bulletin board.
I mean,
it's
I
so
have a sample.
yeah, exactly. When I was when I was very young, when I was first starting out, before I was a staff writer, I signed up for a TV writing course at like the New School with somebody that had like written on a sitcom that I liked when I was a kid or whatever. And between when I signed up and when the class actually started, I was made a staff writer at the Rosie O'Donnell show. And so on the first class, like they went around and were like, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I work on a TV show. And, you know, and the teacher was like, oh, what show do you work on? What do you do there? And I was like, well, actually, I just got made a writer like 2 days ago or whatever. And then at the end of class, he was like, can you hook me up? And I was like,
Yes.
no,
That's the thing. There's no. I think people think that we have the hookup. I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't got no hookup. But I think that that's the thing too. Like one of my mentors said that this is just writing. He was like, everybody wants to be a writer, but nobody wants to write. And I think you can substitute anything for writing in that, you know what I mean? Everybody wants to be a doctor, but nobody wants to do the fucking dissertation. You know what I mean?
the doctoring.
So,
yeah.
So I think that,
And I
there's
think like
that.
entertainment's a little hard because it's like other things, like nobody is like, you know, I'm thinking of getting into doctoring. Can I pick your brain about doctoring?
Yeah.
And I'm going to like try to do it tomorrow. Like everybody understands that there's a certain amount of schooling and tests have to be passed. And, but in entertainment, that's not necessarily the way. Like you do independent work and like build a reputation on your own. And that's sort of like, there is no like degree. There is no test where you're like admitted into like breaking into television. So
Wait,
I
you
think
didn't
like
get
I've had
that?
so many. Is that what I'm doing wrong? I didn't get
Caissie.
licensed.
Oh, honey, you don't have the license of Hollywood workers? Oh, shit. Well, now I understand.
Yeah, I gotta write this train. No, but you know, it is, but it's also kind of weird to like, I've had people, you know, when I've been like doing this, you know, 20, 30 years, and people are like, oh, I'm thinking of getting into that. And I'm like, oh, you're thinking of getting into it? Okay.
Well, I think that's the thing
When
too.
are you gonna start?
This is the only. It's so interesting. Art is like hard, and art is the only thing where somebody will like watch one thing and be like, I could do that, and it's like you can, but it's not. You're not fucking Eddie Murphy. Like people will like
Right.
watch one stand up and be like, I am Eddie Murphy, and it's like, no, you're not. Like that's crazy. Like that's like watching A Few Good Men and being like, I could be a lawyer. I'm ready. It's not, like,
I know,
they're like,
but Shantira, is it also like the year I was on ER where I really thought I could intubate someone? Because
I mean, you could try.
don't
but,
take that
I
away
mean,
from me. You know what I mean?
I won't. You can. You
Okay.
can. You can do it. You can do it. I mean, here's the thing. You can intubate somebody. Is it gonna
Well,
go well? Who can
no.
say?
I mean, it's like a very common thing, but also like, I don't know, like that people see art and they think that they should be able to do it, but it is fucking
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
And
It
it's
is hard.
I'm
And
always just like, why would you want to do
Well,
anything
also,
else if you can?
If I wish I wanted to do something else.
Me
I
too.
wish. And not that other careers aren't hard to do. Like my aunt's a fucking public defender. She went to law school. She works really hard. But I feel like if I wanted to be a lawyer, I could like. There's like a path. I think there's like, oh, you go to law school, you take this
There's a
test.
path.
There is
Right.
no path to
Mhm,
this.
mhm.
Like people go to UCLA and get fucking bachelor's degrees in screenwriting all the time, and then they don't get it. There is no right way to do
Right.
this. So that's why people are always looking for a shortcut, because if you want to be a teacher, it's not easy, but you know what to sign up for, what to learn, what certificates to get. There is no certificate to like book a speaking role in a pilot. There just
No.
like is nothing. And if you
No.
talk to everybody on your favorite show, if you went down the line of everybody in the cast of Grey's Anatomy, you're gonna get a different fucking story about how they got there. It's all there is no book for it. So it's
Wait,
like,
Shantira, speaking of, I ran into Katie Heigl, Katherine Heigl.
Oh, okay.
I always
Yeah.
called her Katie.
Roswell years. I know. She goes back to WB
because
with you.
I was yes, exactly, because Colin Hanks was my boyfriend when I was on Freaks and Geeks, and he was on Roswell with Katie Heigl.
Yeah.
And I ran into her at the Starbucks, like near my old apartment that I shared with Emily Beebe around the time when I was obsessed with SVU. Henry was probably with me. And I had just seen the first commercial for Grey's Anatomy was coming out that summer. And they used this like Postal Service song. And I was like, ooh, this looks so good. And I was like, Katie, oh my God, hi, it's so good to see you. I just saw the preview for your new show. That show looks so good. And she's like, oh, I mean, you know, who knows? Who fucking knows? Busy.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I know. But still, it looks really good. I'm going to be watching it. And she's like, oh, thanks. That's so sweet. Yeah. I mean, it's good. We did like 13. We'll see. You know how it is. I'm like, yeah, I know. But like, that's what you are constantly going into every fucking job with that feeling when you're an artist of just like, yeah, I mean,
I
liked
like
it, but we'll see. We'll just see.
Yeah.
We don't know. There's a lot of extenuating circumstances. It's possible that the cereal company are going to pull all of their ad sales, you know?
Yeah.
And then we won't.
You can't tell. And that's the thing. And that show, especially season 1 and 2, that was some of the best television I have ever seen. And if you're working, like, it's one of those things where you're like, this might be the best thing ever, but that don't mean shit. That's why I like Hollywood Break. Art's really hard. So if your kid wants to be an artist, like, that shit's hard, dude. Like, you might want to push him to be a doctor or a lawyer, but either way, they're going to be working hard and probably not making any money. So cut them some slack.
Right. Well, but here's what I have to say about you. And this comes back to like the theme of today's show, which is that you are taking a hiatus from our show because you have these other jobs, which is like your primary focus in the entertainment industry. And you really want to do a good job. And I'm like constantly impressed. One thing I'm constantly impressed by is your ability to like set boundaries for yourself. Like, it's not yet to the point where it's like probably overwhelming and like you feel frazzled, but I have never done that.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
How do you do that?
Well, the first thing you do is you know what it feels like when you don't do it. I think that is what happened. The first time for me, truly, and I think that a lot of people don't give teenagers enough slack. The first time I felt truly overwhelmed and exhausted was high school. I was in the band. I was in basketball. I had 5 AP classes, and I was at school from like 7 in the morning until like 9 o'clock at night. And like, that was just regular. I think a lot of children have schedules like that. They go to school and then they want to go to a good college, and then they
not right now, Shantira, not right now.
Well, even on Zoom school, like, it's hard, but like, I just was like, literally, I was like, okay, I get up, do all my homework, do homework during lunch, go to basketball practice, then go to band rehearsal, then go home and do the rest of my homework, and then go to bed at like 11 o'clock. And I did that for like 3 years. And that was one thing where like there was no boundary to set. Like, I needed those extracurriculars. Right. I needed those classes. And then I got to college and I was like, oh, I need to read this book by next Thursday, not tomorrow. Like, that was the first time I was like, wait a minute. We only meet twice a week and we can get all this done. What the fuck was going? My high school was they prepared me very much so. But I feel like when people go to college, they're either over-prepared or like not prepared. I was very over-prepared. Whoop, we have a giant plane, hold for sound, going by in my apartment, or maybe a helicopter. Sometimes it's President's Day. They get a vibe. They want to drive a helicopter around, fly a helicopter around. But I was like, oh, like, this is how you can like really set yourself up for success. Like, oh, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, my schedule was like this. So like, it was really like when I was able to start setting a schedule, but that's how you figure it out. When you do something where you're so fucking tired, like last week, I did 4 days in a row where I worked 12 hours straight. Like, that was, right. I was like, I'm literally not capable of doing this without being really tired and kind of sad.
Yeah.
I think especially during like work from home, we've all been sort of like gaslighting ourselves a little bit too, because like I recently, like, okay, so working on the podcast, doing this job that I've been doing, and then like I have like a regular side gig that I spend a couple hours on every day that pulls in like a small amount of steady money that I really rely on. And so like I got to a point where I was like physically shaking, and my husband was like, "What is happening with you?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, I'm shaking. Like, I feel like I'm having like a trauma response." And he was like, "Well, let's go back to like, what did you do today?" And I was like, "Well, I woke up at 6:45 and I opened my laptop and I started working." And then I'm just like, cut to like the math is that I was working from like 6:45 in the morning till like 11 or midnight.
Yeah.
And I had been doing that for like 7 days in a row. And, you know, and he was like, I mean, you know, because there's no demarcation of like what the beginning of your day is and what the end of your day is. I think you're just working around the clock until you collapse. And so like, of course you're shaking.
Even as somebody who has actually entered back into like a legit workspace, which I'm done with now, because of the Zoom, because of like how the world's changed, what was expected of me during the shooting of Girls 5 Eva was both. I was like, that's that's the thing that's like that. And it's also what you're saying, Caissie. It's like this job, that job, this job. And same with you, Shantira. You're like taking multiple jobs because people are like, oh, you don't have to like go to a place and sit there.
Yeah.
So you can actually be on the writing staff of multiple shows, but like, and do this but should you? Like, is that the best thing for you? Like shooting a 12-hour day on Girls 5 Eva and then having to record, or even if it, by the way, even if it was like, even if I was only there for, let's say 7 hours.
Yeah.
And then coming home and having to be a parent because that's a lot. And then having to do the podcast or having to have calls about other things or whatever. We all signed up for so much shit. And I think that like in the beginning of the lockdown and the quarantine, we were all like, we're going to rethink everything. We're going to reprioritize. And literally none of us have done that at all. Like more people I know are working more than ever.
Well, it's actually they're getting more productivity from us because there is no commute time. So like literally you could just get up and start and then just keep going. Like you're saying, there is no demarcation of time. So like,
what do we do?
I mean, you take a moment and you see what isn't serving you right now, and then you remove it or you remove yourself from it. And I think that that's really hard because we're all like very kind and good people, which is like usually why people hire you, because they know you're really good workers and you're really kind and good. But like you also have to really listen to your body and realize like, okay, when I finish the day, I'm so tired, I'm so exhausted, what brought me to this place, and see what you have to do to either make it less often, or because like I'm really fortunate because I just got a rabbit, you know what I mean? Like people got dogs and kids. Like shout out to all the parents, because like me and my girlfriend were just saying like we got a rabbit and we be tired. I can't imagine just being in the house with like 3 kids, 2 dogs, a turtle, and having full-time jobs, man. I couldn't. I don't know how people do it. So mad props to everybody. But like, yeah,
I called
just,
my
like,
friend
it's hard.
Krista Miller, who was my co-star on Cougar Town. On one of my last days of filming Girls 5 Eva, I had like a little bit of a break, and Krista and I have been playing phone tag for, when I tell you, almost 3 months. Like that's not an exaggeration. We've been trying to connect for almost 3 months. We've been texting, but like trying to speak to each other. And I called her and she was like, doing whatever. Krista, when we were doing Cougar Town, Krista she has 3 kids. They were the youngest when we started doing Cougar Town, Henry, I want to say he was like 4-ish. He's a little bit older. Yeah, he's definitely older than Birdie, but I think he was around 4. So like, whatever. She had 3 kids, and then we did that show for 6 years. And I was like, I have to tell you, the amount of new respect I have for you in terms of like being the parent of actual children doing a TV show that we were working such long days on, as opposed to like I was the parent of babies and I thought that was really hard. But what I didn't understand is like the emotional need of kids and like preteens and teenagers or whatever is so much greater that when you get home at 10:30 at night and after a long day of work and you have toddlers, somebody else has put them to sleep and you go in and look at them and they're like fucking angels and you're like, oh, so sweet. When you get home and you have a 7.5-year-old and then a 12.5-year-old, they're waiting for you at the door to tell you 45,000 things that you need to like pay attention to, fix, like come up with a solution for, like whatever. It's just so much more is asked of you as a working parent as your kids get older. And I had no idea when we were doing that show. And Krista used to take these lunchtime naps, and I always like was like a little eye rolly about the lunchtime naps. Like, oh yeah, you really need your fucking sleep. Okay, babe. You know, like I got it. And now I'm like, those lunchtime naps were like the only time she maybe ever slept. Like I was like, yeah, good Lord, she needed those fucking naps.
I've been laying down.
You
That's
used
when
to
the
take a
beauty-
little
yeah.
nap at Busy Tonight. You used to,
I
if we had
did.
2 shows, you would take a little nap between. You know what's interesting? I was talking to a single mom friend because I was saying that, like, oh my gosh, I keep thinking of my friends who are single moms during all of this and they're working and trying to do everything themselves. But you know what she told me? She said, actually, I've been thinking of my married mom friends
Yes.
because when you're in a partnership, you have to talk everything over and reach a mutual decision and like take each other's feelings. And she was like, I'm just the boss. Like I just say what's happening with my kids and that's it. That's what's happening, you know? So on the one hand, while you don't have anyone to help you out, you also don't have anyone, I guess, like taking up your time, chewing your ear off about what you should do.
But also I would say that like I have a different experience in my own home in which Mark and I dealt with the disparity between our domestic duties before the pandemic. And he is really, really, really fucking hands-on with the kids in a way that like sometimes I'm like, wait, what are they doing? What's the homework? I don't know how to, I literally don't know how to log into the like homework portal thing. Anyway.
Yeah, I was always the same. Yeah.
But so many, we know just like statistically and like people have done think that during this pandemic, working parents, there's been a huge moms are the ones that have been taking on the additional labor of the homeschooling and all that stuff. And the dads have sort of been like, yeah, so you got this. I'm going to be in my room. I got to work. And it's like, well, your work's not any more important than the work that I'm doing at my job. But also now I'm doing the schooling the kids and feeding them lunch
This
and all that
extra
shit.
job.
I didn't have that particular set of issues here because I'd taken care of that long ago.
That's really lucky because to have like any, you know, there's all kinds of families, but to have any type of family where both people are like taking an approach to have like some type of equality of labor in the house, it's very lucky.
Yeah, that's why people were getting divorced last year, baby. I think too, like just being the boss, like you have to. What she said is like very interesting to me because I know that kids do that. They'll be like, let's ask dad. Like, you know what I mean? They like try to divide and conquer. So it's like there is no let's ask somebody else. Like, that's it. It's like, oh. So I think that could be very helpful. No divide and conquer. So shout out to her to being like, I'm the boss, baby.
In the 60s, the average American only bought 25 items a year. Today, we average 67 items a year. Despite buying 2.5 times more clothes, guess what? Most Americans only keep them half as long. Big apparel companies have overcomplicated clothing by finding the cheapest manufacturing across the globe, and our planet is paying the price. American Giant is keeping things simple and close to home to drive better quality, stronger relationships, and more transparency. American Giant has built a 100% USA-based supply chain and makes clothing that's durable, not disposable. It's not fast fashion. This clothing is made to be worn more and kept longer. They make amazing sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts, tanks, leggings, and dresses, skirts, and even accessories. I love the leggings. I've bought a bunch of the leggings for the kids. Plus, I love the hoodie. It's very soft. American Giant is reclaiming the American tradition of making high-quality clothes that actually last. I think now more than ever, supporting local communities is important. Choosing American Giant means supporting a supply chain that's 100% in the USA and taking a stand for conscious consumerism, hardworking people, local communities, and quality clothing that's made to last. Get 15% off your first order when you use promo code BEST at American-Giant.com. That's 15% off when you use code BEST at American-Giant.com. Drinking is fun. Hangovers are not. Luckily, Euphorics is the first non-alcoholic drink for grown-ups who care about the little things like brain function, hormone harmony, great sex, and de-stressing after an insane day. Double what? Isn't that what the great sex is for? Anyway, Euphorics are stacked with the good stuff and none of the bad. You got to think herbs, mushrooms that help curb stress in the moment and over time, and nootropics that support cognitive functions like clarity and memory and creativity. Yeah. Also, Kin brand is female founded. Kin is founded by Latinx Jen Bachelor, who is on a mission to reimagine, quote, the social ritual of drinking without wagering on people's health and well-being. I love that mission. I love all of it. I actually really enjoy Euphorics. My favorite is the Kin Spritz. It's a sparkling Aperol-like brain boost without the crash of a hangover. I don't love the hangover of Aperol Spritz. I do love the Kin Spritz because I wake up the next morning and I feel great. There's High Road. It hosts an herbaceous flavor and a feeling of a lifted mind and relaxed body. Great for a social hour. And then there's Dreamlight. It's a booze-free nightcap. It tastes like an Amaro and it just melts away your stress. Have one in the bathtub. You will thank me. Anyway, we've worked out a special deal for Busy Phillips is Doing Your Best podcast listeners. You can receive 15% off plus free shipping on your order. Go to kineuphorics.com/busy or use code BUSY at the checkout to claim this deal. That is KINEUPHORICS.com/busy. Guys, order some. Stress, sleep, recovery, these things shape how we perform. One thing that we've added to our daily routine is NuCalm.
It really makes a noticeable difference. I know you're probably curious about what it is. It's kind of like, it's a combination of like meditation and all kinds of sciencey stuff that really just works on your brain to give you like a period to reset, recover, re-energize. You can do it in the morning. You can do it in the middle of the day for a pick-me-up. You can do it at night to relax, and it's just outstanding.
Listen, it's clinically proven in over 1 million sessions to improve your sleep, reduce your stress, and boost your recovery without drugs or side effects. You don't have to do 1 million sessions. It's just they've done 1 million sessions, and it has been proven that it improves people's sleep and reduces stress and boosts recovery. And there's no drugs, no side effects. It's cutting edge neuroscience. It's kind of incredible, and it's all
incredible science. Yeah,
all included in your monthly subscription, and that monthly subscription costs less than a daily cup of coffee. The whole process is very easy to use and to work into your daily routine and will help you achieve better sleep and reduction in stress and a boost in recovery. So do what we did. Own the day with NuCalm and make 2021 the year you manage your stress better. We have a special link set up specifically for our listeners. Go to busynucalm.com and get 50% off your 30-day subscription of NuCalm and their money-back guarantee. That's busy, NuCalm.com, BUSYNUCALM.com. Shantira, since this is our last
I'm sweaty.
official show with you right now until you come back to us
Yes.
in the future.
When Elizabeth Berkley comes on.
Yes. I just want to know if you have any interesting pivot stories of your own that you would like to share.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's two. The main one was I did work in news, and I thought I was going to be a news anchor. I was like, I went to school for it, interned at a news station, got a job at a news station, and I was working at one when I realized that that was not the job for me. And I think we talked about this before, but what is time? Where it's like people will be like, oh, well, you already started your law degree, so finish. You don't want to waste those 2 years. And it's like, oh, but like if you finish, now you've wasted 4 or 6 years, or you become a lawyer and then you waste that whole career time. Or it's like, you know what I mean? People be like, well, just go to school, finish a degree because you're 3 years in. You don't want to waste any more time. And it's like, oh, yeah, but like if you go for another year, you wasted 4 years instead of 3. So I was like, I don't feel like this experience of me working at this news station was a waste. It was a really great way for me to know definitively that this is not what I want to do. And I think knowing what you want to do is great, but knowing what you don't want to do is very important as well.
Oh, God, another gem. Another goddamn gem.
Yeah.
So, how are we ever going to find someone with as many gems as Shantira?
I'm coming back.
We won't.
But so
We
I
won't.
did not.
That's the answer.
I quit that job because they were also promoting me. They were like, we want to promote you. And I was like, you're going to promote me and I'm going to be stuck doing this thing that I'm kind of good at, but I really hate. So I quit, and then I ended up going to Chicago to study comedy. And that was the biggest pivot for me outside of college, was like just being like, I'm moving to a new city. I'm going to go do this thing that nobody at home knows what it is, because even if I don't like it, then I have to find out. So I think that is okay too. So like that was my biggest pivot, was quitting a sure thing. Like I had a job full time, no worries, peachy keen, but I knew that I would hate it. So that was the first kind of big pivot, is moving to Chicago. The other big pivot for me was right before I got Busy Tonight, right before I started working with you guys. My first TV job ever was on a show called 50 Central on BET, which nobody's ever heard of. It was a show created by the one and only Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. And it was a sketch show. I moved to New York to do it, and it was 16 weeks long. That's another thing too, like getting a writing gig. Like if you know someone who is in this industry, like this is a gig economy for sure. Like you get one writing job, and if that show gets canceled after a year, all those people have to find other jobs. Like it's not like the WGA is like, here is supplemental income until you find another job. That's not how the union works. Right. The union is very helpful, obviously, in a lot of ways, but they're not just giving you money when your job's over. You have to find another job.
They're not matchmaking you to another job.
That's right. So I did 16 weeks in New York, and then I did not get another television job for a year. So from September of 2017 until September of 2018, when we started Busy Tonight, I couldn't get a writing job. So I decided that two things. I've always been like a very responsible person. Like I've talked about this before. Like I've always kind of been treated like an adult, always taking care of myself. My parents never gave me any money. I've always paid my own rent, did what I had to do. And I literally just like didn't have any money. and was not going to find a job. So I moved back home. So I moved home to Tallahassee, Florida. Also, I really did not like New York. It made me so sad. So a big pivot is knowing that even if a city is one of the most amazing places in the world, it might not be an amazing place for you. Like, I know that New York is full of art and culture and it's amazing, but I do not like it there. And I was not going to stay there because other people thought New York was cool. And I think people do that too. They'll be like, well, this city's supposed to be like this. And I was like, it shouldn't be hard. Like, you should enjoy yourself. If it's so hard that you hate it, then like, I'm really fortunate that I could go home. So then I moved back home to Tallahassee and I decided to reevaluate. And then I decided to use my skill set, which was teach improv. So for 10 months, from like from January of 2018 to like I came back to LA in 2018 in September, I taught improv workshops all over the country. And then I just couch surfed. I couch surfed for like almost a year, and it was really hard for me. I like really cried about it because I always told my friends, I was like, if you ever need somewhere to stay, you can stay with me. And I really genuinely meant it. But like, I wasn't going to be, I just like didn't have any rent money, and I didn't have any, I wanted to make money, but like, I literally like was the first time I actually asked my friends for help. And I was like, I'm going to be in New York for this gig for 2 weeks. Can I stay with you? I'm going to be in LA for a week. Can I stay with you? I'm going to be in Chicago for a week. Can I stay with you? And it really was life-changing because I had spent my whole life doing everything for myself. And all of my friends were like, oh my God, I can't believe you asked to stay with me. And I was like, well, you're the best. And they were like, no, but like you're always so put together. You always take care of everything yourself. So when you told me that you wanted to come stay with me for a week, like I got so excited, and I like got to re-meet all of my friends, like in a new way, and like spend a week with them. I like my friend Lori, who I'd known for like almost a decade. I'd never like had breakfast with her 4 days in a row. My friend Maggie, we lived in New York together in a studio apartment, and we just like walked to Trader Joe's and like ate lunch together and watched movies at night. And like I'd never done that before. My friend Bradley, I made pickles for you, Busy. I taught my friend Bradley how to
pickles for me.
Yeah, I made pickles with Bradley, and we just like walked his dog through Prospect Park. So I like, the biggest pivot for me was like I couldn't be in control. Like I didn't have a job, and like so much of my identity was like being able to take care of myself, never asking for help ever, and then like working, and like all of those things. Like I couldn't find a job, I did not have an apartment, and I was not going to get either of those things in the next 10 months. Like I just literally couldn't afford to do it. So the biggest pivot came in 2018 when like I went all over the country and I stayed with a bunch of people that I really cared about and taught improv. And and then when I finally got to a point where I was like, if I never ever write on a TV show ever again, I have all these wonderful friends all over the country, and like I know that like I have a good life outside of doing this stuff, then I got a job with you. And then I moved to LA.
Well, in a way, what I love about that is that you went outside of your comfort zone, the thing that you've had since you were little, which is like, I don't need to ask anyone for help. I got this. I got it.
Yeah.
You went out of your comfort. Yeah,
and
you went out of your comfort zone because for necessity, because you knew you had to. But then you were just so open to the experience of it that you like kind of let go. And once you let go, well, what happened?
I got a really cool job in LA. Yeah. It really was. I mean, it really was, because it was like friends that like I consider good friends, but like you don't, when you're not in college anymore, you're not spending as much time with your adult friends like that.
Yeah.
Like when you're in college, you're in class, you're on campus, you're eating lunch together all the time. Like I went and stayed with my friend who lives in Boston for like 4 days, and like I haven't fucking seen Davina. I hadn't seen her for like 4 years. And I was like, but she was like, if you ever come to Boston, please stay with me. And I was like, I'm coming to Boston. Can I stay with you? And she was like, holy shit. Yes. And I was like, it was really nice because you feel like, I think personally, we all like think we're like a burden. I was like, I'm going to go there and I'm going to be a big burden. But when in actuality, the people in your life that you've chosen to be your friends would never think of you like that.
Yeah.
And you would never
that's right.
think of, I would never think of my friends like that. But I do think that we like don't treat ourselves the way we treat our friends. But like I was in Oklahoma, I was in Boston, I was in Nebraska, I was in Portland, I was in Los Angeles, I was in Dallas, I was in Miami, I went to Atlanta, I went and stayed with people in all those places, Detroit, and it was really cool to like. Also, I think that your adult friends, if they don't have children, like we don't really take care of another person. Like we don't, like we only take care of ourselves. My friend Laura was like, "This is my best breakfast. I'm gonna make you my signature breakfast," because she like lives by herself. Or like you'll go see your friend and they'll be like, "Hey, this is like the bar I go to. They know my name here. I'm gonna take you to my bar." And I got to like be like in my friends' lives in a way that wasn't like, I don't know, just like visiting. Like, because when you visit someone,
a bunch of tiny slumber parties.
Yes, because when you visit someone, they're like, "I'm gonna take you to the best nachos in LA." You're like, "Okay, cool. I'm here for 2 days." We do that. When you stay with someone for 5 days,
When you stay with me, I take you to the nachos twice. Just FYI.
yes. but also, you're like, you wake up with them and you like have their morning routine and you talk about your night together, like your night before. And it was just really cool to like re-meet all of these important people that I had really chosen to be a part of my family, my chosen family over like that decade I lived in Chicago. And we all reconnected. So I like all my friendships got better after the worst work year of my life. So that was my biggest pivot. Yeah.
When you came to meet with us to have a meeting to see if you were going to get hired on Busy Tonight and if we like vibe together, you never know, like staying with your friends could have like primed the pump and laid the groundwork for like being your most you know, because that's what your writing was great, but we really liked you. You know what I mean?
Really
like
liked
when
you,
we met
Shantira.
you.
Yeah.
And I was,
we were like, we
like,
want to be in a room with this person for the next like 16 weeks, hopefully longer. And we want to like hear their perspective on things. That's the truth.
It was so fun. And that week I was staying with my best friend Bex. Her husband, they have like a very nice couch, and I like came and stayed with them, and I because I was like working in New York, going back and forth, and then I like came to LA. Also, just if you ever interview for a job in the industry, just say you live in that city, because I was like, I live here, but I was like crashing with Bex. I was like, I live in LA. You don't have to move me, because sometimes they'll pay to move you, but like sometimes you just got to be like, I already live here. But I was like,
hey guys, that's how I got Girls 5 Eva. I was already here.
Yeah, you got to just be in the city where it happens. Because if anybody ever tells you, well, we'll have a job for you if you move here, and it's like, but I would move here if I had a job. So, but I was crashing on my friend's couch, and then I went into Portland and crashed somewhere, and then I went to Tallahassee, and then I got the job offer, and it was really like a redo of Chicago when I was 21. I moved to Chicago with 3 bags of clothes and $600 in my bank account, and I moved to Los Angeles with like 3 or 4 bags of clothes and like maybe less than $600. I had like gotten rid of all my shit. So it was like a real like moving to a city, starting over. I moved to LA, and I don't know who it was, whoever was in accounting at NBC. I was like, I'm trying to get an apartment. Can you just tell them that I already got paid? And they were like, yeah, if they call you, we'll tell them that you are getting paid. Because like in LA, they like want to see your fucking pay stubs and stuff. So they were like, we'll send you the pay stubs and we'll make sure that they know you have a job. And I was like, thank you. Because they make it hard. But yeah, I like, that was my biggest pivot, was like moving to LA after like a year of being like, I'm doing it. I'm working in TV, and then fully 100% fucking crickets. I did like 40 packets. Like, if you ever see like a late night show or something, every couple, like maybe once or twice a year, they'll ask you to write in the voice of that. It's like Colbert will be like, write 15 jokes in the voice of Colbert. I fucking did like 4 Colbert packets, 3 Jimmy Fallon packets. I did 2 Kimmel packets. I did some Conan packets. I did some packets for shit that ain't never made air. I have a folder on my computer that's like literally 50 fucking packets for shows. I did not get not the first fucking job. Yeah. Not one. It was really hard. And then like a year later, I got to be on Busy Tonight, and everyone's like, you did it. But like nobody knows that like I didn't. For a long time, I was not doing it. It was hard, and I was broke, and I was crying.
And then they're like, can I just take you to coffee and pick your brain?
Yeah. And you're like, and they're like, tell me the shortcut. And the shortcut is you go to Oklahoma and you do a weekend of workshops, and you get some money, and then you fly back to Tallahassee and you wait.
Can I tell you the truth? What I actually think the shortcut is if you want to make it in entertainment.
Yeah.
I've thought about this a lot because I've been doing this longer than anyone on earth. I actually think that the shortcut to making it in entertainment is being your truest self. And I think that that's the shortcut to making it literally anywhere.
Yeah.
And like, I think, Shantira, that what Caissie said is right. Like, you had spent almost a year traveling the country, reconnecting with people and being your truest self and reconnecting with the thing you loved, improv, and teaching it. And you released all the ideas of the other thing of like what you should be or where you should be or whatever. And when you walked into that office with us, you were the most sparkliest version of yourself. Like what we see here today too, you have just continued to be like the most sparkliest version of yourself. And like, that's the fucking shortcut, man. Sometimes it takes you like a little bit of time to figure out how to get back to yourself because you think a thing is very important for you to be. So you're trying to be that thing. But what we love about you and what all these people that wrote in it love about you, and like what I'm going to miss talking to you every week so much, is just that you're you. And there's no one in the fucking world like you, Shantira.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I'm not going to cry yet, but it's coming.
Well, wait, let's read another letter. Speaking of being yourself, from Jennifer, she says, thanks to Shantira for teaching this middle-aged white lady what we fuck with her means. This white lady isn't tricky, but she fucks with Shantira. I know I didn't use that right.
You did. That was good.
She did. Oh, Jennifer.
I mean, shout out to the community of this podcast has been so wonderful. Like, it's been like I got my breast reduction because of this podcast. The women in this podcast sent me recommendations, sent me to doctors that they had already been to. Like, and so many women like have emailed me and have been like, now I'm probably going to cry. And been like, hey, like, I'm getting a breast reduction because of this podcast. Like, I talked to my husband about this and he fully supports me. I talked to my sister and she gave me the episode after your breast reduction surgery, and I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm doing it right now. Like, I made the appointment. Like, I'm figuring it out. And the community from this podcast has been like so wonderful. And like, you guys send me messages. I can't get to all of them because DMs are deep, but I will say that like I really appreciate you guys for being so kind and so wonderful. But also, like, we talked about this before about how the government has failed us, but we took care of each other. And this podcast, the community of women in this podcast, we take care of each other. And it's really been wonderful. Like, thank you for all your GERD recommendations. I'm going through them. Thank you for that. Like, I found a plastic surgeon to give me a major surgery because of women who listen to this podcast. Also, like, sending a message to a stranger is very brave. But like, if you think somebody's like famous and you're like, I'm gonna send this famous person, like, people will be like, I know you're famous, and I'll be like, girl, okay, but thank you. Like, it's like obviously I'm not Angela Bassett, but like, it's like, I'm gonna message Angela Bassett today. That's how it feels to me. And if you did that, it's really, really brave. Also, like, everybody doesn't like advice, but like, you do it for the greater good. So you'll be like, I think this really helped me. I hope you watch this. Like, all of that's really brave. So like, shout out to all the really brave, like, people who listen to this podcast and who come together in this community, because we really have taken care of each other, and it's been like life-changing. Like, my whole life got changed because a lady sent me a doctor in LA, and like, truly, in a DM. So
I don't know if you saw this, but there was a letter from a listener named Megan. It's a very long letter, and I'm just gonna jump around, because she's forever grateful to you, because in the past fall she was having issues with discomfort and pain in her lower abdomen, and so she went to, after listening to Shantira talk about listening to her body and advocating for herself, I scheduled an appointment with my doctor. They discovered I had an ovarian cyst that had grown substantially. They'd need to remove it. It was an easy surgery, no issues. Afterward, my pain stopped, but I was still feeling discomfort, the same discomfort. At my post-op appointment, I didn't plan on mentioning it, but I kept hearing Shantira in my head telling me to listen to my body. Like, that's fucking amazing. And she says, luckily, I have a doctor who took my discomfort seriously and ordered a CT scan, and they discovered several masses in my abdomen, and I was diagnosed with a progressive and extremely rare lung disease called, I cannot pronounce it, lymphogranulomatous, or LAM. This disease affects almost entirely women. It's exacerbated by estrogen, meaning both pregnancy and birth control. Fun. I don't know what that is. And collapsed lungs.
Pneumothorax and collapsed lungs.
Well, if I'm not on the set of ER and I don't have the doctor telling me how to pronounce things, it's really hard for me. You know what I mean? Pneumothorax and collapsed lungs are very common with this disease. And particularly that's concerning during this pandemic that stars a respiratory disease. So anyway, Megan says, I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't had Shantira's voice in my head telling me to speak up and acknowledge that my body was trying to tell me something wasn't right. I've recently begun treatment and medication with a pulmonologist. I'll be monitored closely for the rest of my life, but I'm only lucky enough to be receiving treatment because I listened to my body. So Shantira, from the bottom of my heart, oh no, I'm going to cry. Thank you for setting that example and for giving others the strength to do the same. It saved my life. I hope Shantira knows what an amazing impact she's having on listeners. Megan.
Oh. I do a lot of bullshit on here, so thank you so much. I think one of the things we started this podcast was because people don't listen to women, and at the end of the day, you should listen to yourself. So there should always be someone who's willing to listen to you if you're willing to listen to yourself. And I think that is something that we're told not to. We're discouraged from listening to ourselves constantly. So I think that, like, being your own biggest advocate is really hard. But like I said before, treating yourself the way you would treat your friends really helped me a lot, because I would tell my friends to go to the doctor. I would tell my friends to listen to their bodies. So you're all my friends, and I'm so happy that you did that. Listen to your, like, we know what's up. Women are like fucking powerful, which is why they try to take our power.
We are the witches, mister. We
are the witches.
The weirdos.
But I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. And Yeah, like fuck yeah. Listen to your body be knowing.
You guys, on that note, I just want to say, the conversation we had last week about women's health and midwives. I've been doing a lot of investigative journalism, aka Googling. Caissie and I've been sending some things back and forth. I've been talking to with my friends at the Center for Reproductive Rights and other friends that I have that are like working in this space and know people who are working in this space. And I think that what we're going to try to do in the next bit of time is focus on a few places around the country that have midwives who are doing, who are opening practices and doing this work. And we're going to try to help fund them financially.
Yes.
With the help of all of you. There are a lot of specifically Black midwives in different parts of the country that are like, yeah, no, we are already doing this. Thanks, though, busy. But we're taking this, but we are going to take the health of the community and like the women in our community into our own hands. But they need money and they need funding and they need help. And so we're going to come up with a plan. And I'm going to get back to you on this one. But I also encourage everybody, wherever you are, to like look into it in your own communities and like, let's truly take it back.
Yes.
Take back our bodies, because we are the ones that can listen to ourselves. What Megan says is so powerful. But it's compounded by one sentence, which is that I am lucky enough to have an amazing doctor who took my discomfort seriously and ordered a CT scan. And that is the thing that many Black women in this country by POC, just many women, also just women are not taken
Aren't
seriously.
taken seriously. Yeah.
Aren't taken seriously, and also like the way that medicine is designed and studied, and it's geared toward men. Men's bodies are studied, and that's everyone's
The
medical knowledge
standard.
is based on the standard on the way that men's bodies work. So for example, so many women have gone to the ER feeling uncomfortable, feeling nauseous, having a sore arm. And it turns out that it's a heart attack that's presenting differently than you'd see with a man. And it's just that these things haven't really even been studied. Women haven't even really. And then, the physiological differences between men and women, between different types of women, there's a lot that we don't know, and you spend every moment of every day with your body, so nobody knows it better than you. When we talked about this a little bit last week. When I gave birth to my first son, I was in the hospital for a really long time because I became ill in the hospital. I had like an infection as a result of having a cesarean section. And they were giving me intravenous antibiotics, and I have really terrible veins. Like I've always known that when I go to have blood drawn, it takes so many tries. And my veins kept collapsing. So I would have to get this IV put back in. And then they had a pediatric anesthesiologist come in to put an IV in a vein in my ankle because I had no more veins.
Oh my God.
He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. And he was the nicest man, and he cried tears. And I said, "Why are you crying?" And he said, "I just feel so bad. I keep sticking this needle in you, and it's not like I'm here to do a job and I can't help you. And I feel like a failure." And so I'm like comforting this doctor, saying like, "It's okay. You tried your best," And so they got this real tough, like, IV nurse to come in, and she found some vein like way high up on my arm, and it really was painful to get this IV. And it was painful to even feel the medicine going into the IV. And I was like, I feel like I can taste the medicine in my mouth, and it's making me feel sick and just all this stuff. Anyway, And I just had this sense that that vein was going to collapse really quickly and that IV wouldn't be viable. But this nurse came in and I was like, if you please call my doctor, I'll take 1 million pills. I'll swallow 1 million pills if you just take this thing out of my arm. I swear to God. And I was running 105 fever and hallucinating.
This makes me so
and I was just
uncomfortable.
I'll just sit here and swallow all the pills, as many pills as you say I have to take if you just take this thing out of my arm. And so when that IV failed, that nurse, which we knew it was going to happen, that nurse just was like, I'm just going to give you the pills. And it was a lot. I had to take a lot of oral antibiotics. And she just sat with me and she was like, I saw how upset you were. And I was thinking of my daughter. I have a daughter your age. And so I just pretended that I couldn't find the IV nurse to come back. And so I'm probably going to get in trouble. but so anyway, I swallowed all these 40 pills or something. And then I went to sleep. And when I woke up in the morning, I was great. I was fine. I was no longer infection gone. And, and I'm not saying these IVs were making me sicker. I think the trauma was probably contributing to me not being able to get back on my feet. But thanks to that one nurse who was like, baby, I'm going to listen to you because you remind me of my daughter.
Yeah. I think that the thing too is pain feels bad, but pain is good. Pain is a warning from your body. Bodies are fucking insane. It's so wild. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but if you just your heart's just beating from all the time. Just you go to sleep, you go to the grocery store, you watch Love Island, your heart's just fucking going, dude. So if you feel pain, the bodies are amazing, but we're so disconnected from how amazing everything in the whole universe is because of capitalism. But
listen, can I just say though, in defense of capitalism, I love to shop, and I also also my ovulation is timed to the moon, and I did feel the implantation of my child. I'm very in tune with my body, and also I do like dresses.
Oh yeah. They're not mutually
I just want to say, I don't know if it's entirely capitalism's fault.
No,
I feel we have to be able to drop in and connect.
But if you work 3 jobs and you come home, you know what I mean?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You don't get to drop. So many people don't get to drop in. So I think that if you are fortunate enough where you do get to yeah, my arm hurts. Okay, see how long it hurts. It's not supposed to. Your body is not, you're not supposed to be in pain. You're not supposed to be hurting. It's not supposed to fucking suck to walk down the street. And I wish we had universal health care so everybody could check in on all that stuff. But your body wants to be chilling. So if it hurts, you're nobody's I know what I'm going to do to this bitch. I'm going to make it super hard to go upstairs. Nobody is just yeah, I love this. It's a warning. And I think that we should heed those moments when you're I don't feel so great. I think I'm going to lay down. I think I'm going to sit down. I think I'm going to drink some water. I think my fucking abdomen is wrong. Because you've had that abdomen your whole life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I really think that you can be your own biggest advocate. And I think it's so interesting when people will be like, no, you don't feel that. How the fuck do you know?
Right.
How the fuck do you know? How the fuck?
Yeah.
I have had this body my whole life. How the fuck do you know? Right? I know. So that's kind of how I felt also with my my gastrologist when I told him, I was I think that this is what my body's doing, and he was 40 milligrams instead of 20, and I was I'm gonna let you do another endoscopy on me in a year because that is what I need to do to make sure I don't have any cancerous cells in my esophagus. But I am gonna call this other guy because I think that there is a combination of Eastern and Western medicine that goes together. Go to the doctor and make sure everything is right. But then every once in a while, you just fucking need some pollen from some tree that you need that'll make you feel better. So I think that being open to knowing that sometimes it's not more milligrams, sometimes it's something else. That's also be open to that too.
Yeah, everybody's like very limited to the knowledge that they have. So that's, like think about whatever you do for your job. You don't know everything about, if you teach literature, you don't know every book that's ever been written in the world. You're just limited to what you know.
It's just so unfortunate that we spent the last period of time in this country listening to a fucking idiot blowhard saying that he knew everything that there was that the idea just kept being pushed out into the world, that if you don't know everything, that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for Joe Biden, obviously, and Kamala for so many reasons, but mostly that they're like, hey, I'm actually not the best at transportation. I'm actually not the best. I'm actually not the best. I don't have a degree in sciences. I'm good at this thing, and I can identify these things, but I don't have to be an expert on everything. And even experts call in experts.
Delegate. Yes.
And even experts
Delegate.
call in experts. And it's like, you are an expert on your own body.
Right.
But other than that, guys, you don't know everything.
I remember back in high school, I was in, I think it was like a biology class, and I raised my hand to ask a question of the teacher. And I asked my question, and she said, you know what? I don't know, but I'm going to find out, and I'm going to get back to you. And that was a huge epiphany for me, that I had so much respect for that woman to bravely stand up in front of a classroom of teenagers, the most terrifying thing probably that anyone does.
That is
in
the
the
most
world.
terrifying thing in the world. Teenagers is the scariest thing in the world.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed. We can all agree on that.
And to say, I don't know the answer to your question, but you know what? Let's find out together. I'm gonna find out, and I'm gonna get back to you. And she did, and I realized how much respect I had for that, and I've really maintained that throughout my life, to have like really mad respect for someone that is like, you know what? That is not something that I know, but let's find out, or let's like keep pushing until we find out.
That's when like Courtney, like what I learned most from Courtney Cox is that she was never afraid to be like, I don't know what that is. And I'm like, wait, what? You don't just go along and pretend like you know what everybody's talking about at all times? Oh, okay. Wow. Because I do.
And then there's people that do that. And then there's also people that sometimes like not only go along, but like bullshit, like they do know. And then next thing you know, you're like, oh yeah, because remember you told me this is how this works and that's how that works. And it's like, it turns out that it was just like some fucking fairy tale. And now two people look stupid. Like I'm like, why would you bullshit about why bullshit?
Also, surrounding yourself with people who aren't afraid to tell you when you're wrong, which is another thing that administration was bad. My girlfriend was telling me about like this doctor who was like this blowhard surgeon who like everyone was kind of afraid of, came into this operating room and like was like, okay, we're doing this foot surgery. The nurse, all of the residents, they were like, this is not a foot surgery. He's wrong. And nobody said anything. And they let him do a foot surgery. Nobody wanted to tell this man whose ego was so big that he had surrounded himself with people who wouldn't tell him he was doing the wrong fucking surgery.
Also, I hate that guy though.
Oh, Lord.
Obviously, yes. But that's the thing too. It's like surrounding yourself with people who are willing to be wrong or willing to not know everything. I mean, when I was in college, also shout out to people who are in college who, this is a thing that I did. I paid so much money for that fucking education. If I didn't understand something, I raised my hand. They'd be like, okay, moving on. And I would literally raise my hand in a math class and be like, I do not understand what you just did. I need you to do each step and I need you to explain it to me. And then they'd be like, okay, great. I'm a teacher. I love fucking teaching. And then that teacher would just like do all this fucking shit that was so hard. And then after class, people would be like, thank you for asking. I didn't understand either. And I wasn't going to say anything.
I'm so proud. But this is what I'm saying, Shantira. This is like one thing I love about you so much. And I've learned so much from you. Everybody's learned something from Shantira. You can't help but like come in contact with Shantira and not learn something. I've learned many things, but giant thing I've learned from you is like just advocating for yourself and being like, yeah, actually, I don't. Hi, can you like run over that one more time for me? It's like I deserve all the information. I don't. This doesn't. Like I just feel like that's really difficult a lot of times for especially women to speak up and say. And I'm so appreciative of your openness in all of that. Guys, I really have to
definitely
pee.
took
Can
the
I go
bullet.
pee?
Okay. Yeah, go pee.
Because I had therapy.
can
I
pee.
had therapy for 2 hours before this, and I drank a bit, one of my big cups of water.
Go.
And then I just drank
Go pee.
a drink and a half of my drink. Okay, I'll be back. Super, super, super coffee. Coffee, coffee, super, super, super coffee. Coffee. Listen, I woke up 2 days ago, exhausted. I made my super coffee and boom. Boom! I was up. I was ready to go. Super coffee is like the healthy, delicious alternative to sugary coffee drinks like Starbucks, Frappuccinos, and other iced coffee or energy drinks. It's made to power your entire day with its unique combination of caffeine, healthy fats, and protein. It provides a sustained, jittery-free energy with no crash. If you know me, you know how much I enjoy combining protein and fat and caffeine in a coffee drink, and therefore super coffee is the coffee for me. I don't know if you know this, but a grande Starbucks frap has 52 grams of sugar and 370 calories.
It's a lot. And if you do count calories, if that's something that you're paying attention to, that is equivalent to like a small meal.
Really?
Or a regular meal. Yeah.
Well, super coffee is naturally sweetened and contains zero grams of added sugar and 10 grams of protein and only 80 calories per bottle. I will say this. Everything that they make that I've tried is delicious. They have creamers, they have pods, they've got grounds. I've been using the grounds a lot. And then they have the ready to drink coffee, which I also love, with flavors like vanilla, white chocolate, peppermint, caramel, hazelnut, coconut, mocha, and so much more. Which one do you love?
I love white chocolate peppermint. You love peppermint too. You love peppermint
I do.
chocolate chip ice cream. So I feel like you should try that one because I think you'll really enjoy it. And I love all the creamers because it does make your coffee feel like a little special treat.
It's a little treat. It's a treat. I wish we had an office, Caissie, that we worked in. And we could have those creamers in the fridge and we could be using them in our coffee. Super Coffee has a 60-day money-back guarantee, meaning, guys, if you don't love it, you get your money back. No questions asked. We've worked out an exclusive deal for Busy Phillips' Doing Your Best podcast listeners. Receive 25% off your entire first purchase. We recommend one of their best-selling variety packs or bundles because then it's a great way you get to try all of the flavors, and they are all delicious. So to claim this deal, go to drinksupercoffee.com/busy or use code BUSY, B-U-S-Y, at the checkout. Super Coffee, also available nationwide in over 25,000 stores like Target, Whole Foods, Walmart, Kroger, and CVS.
How are your Brooklinen
Listen,
pink sheets?
I love them. I'm obsessed with the Brooklinen towels. Brooklinen was started by Rich and Vicky. We love them. We're stans of Rich and Vicky.
We're Rich and Vicky's stands. Yeah.
We are. They tried to find beautiful home essentials. And they're like, but hey, listen, we don't want to spend an arm and a leg. And you know what? They couldn't find it. They founded Brooklinen. That was their answer. It's the first direct-to-consumer bedding company. It has over 50,000 five-star reviews and counting. They're so confident you're going to love their products. They even offer a 365-day money-back guarantee. It's so much more than sheets. It's comforters, pillows, towels, loungewear, and more. And their sheets come in sateen, linen, cashmere, classic percale. I personally am like on board with the linen. I just love that linen.
I have the classic. I love a crisp classic sheet.
I like that for you too. Here's what I'm going to say, guys. I've been a fan of Brooklinen since long before this podcast. If you have not shopped on Brooklinen, I was in a store, not a joke. Where was I? I don't know. I was telling someone about Brooklinen yesterday. I was like, oh, you don't know what Brooklinen is? You don't get your sheets from Brooklyn? Oh, the girl that's teaching me pole dancing. Yumi.
There you
I was
go.
like, I said something to Yumi about Brooklyn, and she asked me where my towels were from. And I was like, because I bring towels because I sweat so much when I do pole dancing. I brought my towel, and my pole dancing teacher, Yumi, was like, that towel is amazing. What is it? And I was like, oh, I got it on Brooklinen. You don't buy things on Brooklinen? She's like, no. I was like, you got to get on Brooklinen. But if you do, you have to use my special offer. Go to brooklinen.com and use promo code BEST to get $25 off when you spend $100 or more, plus free shipping. It's 2021. Do something nice for yourself to start off the new year. To help you do that, take this special offer from Brooklinen. That's BROOKLINEN.com. Enter promo code BEST. You get $25 off when you spend $100 or more, plus free shipping. I'm trying to talk quietly so you really pay attention. Brooklinen.com and use promo code BEST at checkout. I sleep on their sheets. I wipe my body down with their towels, especially when I'm pole dancing. I love me some Brooklinen. Go get it. Let me tell you a story. I have a 12-and-a-half-year-old who at this point sometimes is like, I'm not washing my hair. I'm not interested. Like, Birdie is very cool.
It's challenging hair.
Oh, it's challenging
Correct?
hair.
Yeah.
Always has
So
been.
can't blame Bird.
No. I smelled their head this morning when they came to hug me, and it smelled so effing delicious. And I was like, what happened? And Birdie was like, I used my Function of Beauty hair products, and I added a new scent this month, and that's what you're smelling. And I was like, I would like to eat your hair. It smells so good. It smelled fruity and delicious. It was so clean. Birdie's hair looked perfect. This is what Function of Beauty does for me and can do for you as well. Listen. Function of Beauty is the world leader in customizable beauty, offering precise formulations for your hair's specific needs. So here's how it works in my home. I took a quiz. Bird took a quiz. We had Cricket take a quiz. And we came up with what our hair goals were, the type of hair that we had, like what we were looking for. We chose our own colors and fragrances. I personally went fragrance and dye free. If you're a subscriber, you get access to more exclusive colors and scents, which is what Birdie got. And then Function of Beauty goes on and creates the perfect blend of ingredients, bottles your formula, delivers it to you along with fun seasonal stickers and the instructions that you need. Honestly, the purple shampoo has been very helpful to me of late because my hair has been quite brassy in New York. Anyway, Function of Beauty also creates formulas for body and skincare, so you can customize your beauty routine from hair to toe. Never buy off the shelf just to be disappointed ever again. Go to functionofbeauty.com/best. Take the quiz and save 20% on your first order. That applies to their full range of customized hair, skin, and body products. Go to functionofbeauty.com/best to let them know that we sent you. Guys, that was truly epic. How much I just peed.
Sometimes it'd be
But
like
also,
that.
can I just tell you that was about advocating for myself because I had to pee for the last 30 minutes.
Sometimes you
And then I was like,
go.
at some point I was like, I'm sitting here not listening to my body. We're talking about the thing that I'm not doing.
Go do it. And then you'll
And I
enjoy
had
yourself
to
more
pee.
when you come back.
And now you can
Totally.
now it was probably hard to concentrate before and you were uncomfortable.
little bit.
Now you're comfortable. You can concentrate.
I feel great.
You know what's weird? Do you I always count when I pee because, like, you know, I have like a little OCD issues. And no matter whether I only have to pee a little bit or I have to pee the most.
What's your number?
What's your number? It's 12, no matter what. I always pee the length of counting to 12.
Wait, how
It's
funny
just
that
like
I
a
knew that you had
volume that's-
one number that you got to.
It's always 12, even if I just like,
You're just
a
like,
little bit
1,
of pee or a lot of
2,
pee.
3,
Two.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
10, 11, 12.
1.
No,
2.
no, no. I count the same pace every time. It's just the volume of pee that's coming out. Like,
Well,
so
maybe
it's
that's
like
your
either
bladder. Your bladder's a 12.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, my bladder's size 12 bladder.
I love that. Well, guys, you never asked me what I was doing my best at, but that's okay.
We were waiting.
I was gonna point out that we never got to what you were doing your best at because we got on some tangent. I guess we're talking about Shantira
All right,
I'm
ready. What are you
doing-
on
doing
her
your
big
best at?
day.
Besides advocating for yourself.
That's it, dude. I'm doing my best at living like Shantira this past week.
Yay!
Truly. Like, I'm doing my best at like identifying, like truly identifying the things that I need and the things that I want in life and in work and all across the board, and being unapologetic about it, as opposed to like being weighed down by ideas that have been like ingrained in me since I was, I don't know, probably like pre-birth. I don't even fucking know where these ideas come from. But it is true. It's like, it's definitely kind of the impact that like seeing you like live your life and how you do it and how you express what it is that you need and all of those things. So I've been like doing my best at living like you. And I really have. I've been working on it. And then beyond that, I changed my earrings out, those piercings that I got.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did? The
I
ones that were like
did.
the one that was infected?
Well, no. There were 2 that were infected, and those ones are gone. I took those out. I
Yeah.
listened to my body because you know what my body said? No.
No.
That's
Yeah.
too many
No,
fucking piercings, Busy. Take
Yeah.
2
We're
of
not
them
into these
out,
2.
and you still have 4 on one ear. That's enough.
Yeah.
So those guys healed, and then I was able to switch out the earring, and then I switched out the upper earring on the other side, and I was very happy about that. And then I was thinking, just today I wrote this Instagram post. I like have not been, I would say personally, that I have like not been as like open on Instagram in recent times, just because I'm like,
Same. I think everyone's moving out of Insta world. I've been
Yeah, I
slowly
felt-
creeping out of
yeah,
it.
I feel that vibe, but like also I just was like, and I just wasn't really interested in sharing things on there or whatever. Anyway, but this morning early, I did share a bit about what I was feeling, because a year ago I was in London with Birdie to meet Birdie's favorite YouTubers, and it was like this whole journey that we went on together because they were having such a hard time, and I was just like grasping at straws to try to like do anything to help Birdie feel better or see that they were worth everything in the world. And obviously I used all my frequent flyer miles to do that. Although like, honestly, who fucking cares about frequent flyer miles now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where
I'm
am I
really
flying?
happy I didn't get a card. Like when I was getting my grown-up card, after I got rid of my Gap card, 23% interest really fucked me for a decade, y'all. Once I got rid of my Gap card, I was like, I'm going to get like a grown-up card that I can pay off and that might help me. And I was like, maybe I'll get airline miles, and I didn't do it. And you know what? I'm happy because I haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's nowhere. I mean, right now there's nowhere to go. But I did, and a year ago, this was like a big decision because like I come from, my dad is a major like points guy. You know, I like come from like a points guy family.
Yeah.
And like my parents literally, my dad was like a businessman who flew a lot for work, commuted all over the place, saved those fucking miles for so long, rolled them over, is like in the Million Mile Club, whatever. And my parents have taken like beautiful, luxurious vacations. And my dad's like, ask me how much it cost. And he's like, he's like $14. So like, you flew first class on Cathay Pacific for $14. And he's like, yes. And that's just because your mother packed her hair dryer, or whatever. like truly. So for me a year ago to be like, because I'm my dad of the family. Like I'm the traveling businessman of the family. And I've like traveled so much, saved up all of my frequent flyer miles, had my credit card that got my miles, whatever. And then my kid was like in this super dark place. And I was just like, I'll do anything. What is it? What's anything? And Birdie was like, I want to meet my favorite YouTubers. And I was like, yeah, I can make that. I'm going to make that happen. Used all my frequent flyer miles. And then a pandemic happened. So no one's flying anywhere anyway. I can accumulate more. It's fine. I'm glad I used my miles on that. But
yeah, I
was like reflecting on that trip and how I actually had therapy twice today. I had therapy with my therapist, and then Mark and I had therapy. It's a lot of, and then we had this. It was a lot of fucking therapy today. But I wrote this post because I was thinking about how we talk about pivots. I was thinking about that thing that like people say, it gets better, and when you are, and Caissie knows this too, like when you are a parent or a caregiver or a sibling or like somebody that's with the person who's going through the thing, you have to like remain steadfast in your, like, it gets better. But for them, for their sake, but like internally you're like, what if it doesn't? And like, what if this is it? And and then what am I going to do? What are they going to do? What are we going to do? What the fuck are we going to do? And I'm so grateful to have Caissie as my friend, because Caissie went through so much as a parent and has seen every kind of thing, like truly. But I posted these photos and I wrote this thing, like this very like really truly heartfelt thing this morning about Birdie, and I posted this. The last photo is a picture I took of Birdie and me from the other night, like I think it's Friday night or Saturday night or something. And like, I often think about if I could go back in time and show myself one picture. Do you ever think of that?
Yeah. Well, you can't. I mean, This sounds weird, but like me and my partner do it all the time. Like, because I genuinely, what is time? We always joke about it, but like, I don't think that it's linear. I think that every version of me is in existence right now. So like, I feel like the future version of me comes back to tell me that we're doing okay. And
is
my
it
current
string
version,
theory?
I'm not smart enough to know if it's string theory.
Okay.
But
this
is
the
just
many worlds theory.
Yeah, the many worlds theory, right? So like, 6-year-old me is happening right now. 18-year-old me is happening right now. 23-year-old me is happening right now. And then like I'll have like a revelation about like 10-year-old me, and I'll be like, okay, like I'm gonna go tell 10-year-old me that like this is fine. Wait till you see 33-year-old you. Like, remember when you watched this show and you thought it'd be cool to work on it? Like, I know it's really hard right now, but just keep waiting. It's okay. Or like 23-year-old me, I'll be like, it's okay to like not be good at this. I know you think that it's bad that you're not, but it's okay if you're not good. Or it's like, you should kiss this person. Like, some of them are trivial, but I do, but it makes me feel better at least, that I will be like, oh my gosh, like so many people have so much trauma when they're younger. And it's like, oh, like think about 7-year-old you right now and how you wish you lived somewhere else, did something else, were someone else, and then just be like, hey buddy, guess what, like this is you're pretty fucking cool and you made it. And like I think that really makes me feel better. So I think that you should take a moment today and be busy from last year. I know you thought that it would be so hard, and it was, but like, I just want to let you know that like busy right now, we fucking did it. And I think that like it's really healing. So I do it all the time.
I do the same exact thing. Because I was,
It's hard.
without getting too deep, without turning this into therapy, but like my childhood was hard. And I was very lonely. Like I think a lot of the things that were hard about my childhood would have been better if I hadn't been lonely on top of it. So there are some times when I just like travel back as my adult self to just sit with little me and be like, I know nobody's here right now, but like we're here together.
But we're here together and we did it. And I think that like subconsciously, sometimes I'll be like, I'm really worried about that. And then I'll be like, oh man, future me is telling me that like we're good. And I'm like, I can do that. I can go back to like, you'll find a job. It'll be okay. I'll go back and just be like, it's okay to do this major. Like you're making good decisions. Like it's okay that you went to school in your hometown. When you're 35 and everyone's $80,000 in debt, you're going to thank yourself. You're going to thank 18-year-old you. Because you can thank past you, too. Like, I'm really grateful that 17-year-old me who went to the computer lab at school because I didn't have internet in my house, applied to that school and made a really grown-up decision that I hope was the right one. I go back and go, hey, you're 17. This is a really good decision. You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Like, I think you need that.
You can also tell your prior self that you deserved better.
Yeah.
Like, like in a situation where, where just whatever happened was a bad break, whether it was like bad luck or whether it was someone that treated you in a way that you didn't deserve to be treated. Like it's very helpful to tell yourself you deserve better. You deserve better than this. And like, that's just the truth. And it's good to know that truth.
So do it, Busy.
No, it's so funny. No, I do. I mean, that's what I was thinking about today. I was thinking about like how hard it was. And specifically like the darkest, my lowest moment was a year ago. And maybe I did, maybe I like showed a year ago me that picture of me and Birdie, like mirror selfie vibes here in New York, and how incredible they're doing and how much changed and better it is. Like I moved through it. They moved through it. We all moved through it. And like, I don't know. It's that's really interesting that like what you guys are saying. I never thought about that in that way. Like I never thought about it in that way, but yeah, like
what does
it's almost
hurt?
Like yeah,
It can't hurt.
it can't
The
hurt.
first
It can't
time,
hurt.
the first time I ever like had this idea to do, or I don't even know if it was an idea. It was just something that I pictured. I was in like one of those sensory deprivation saltwater float tanks, and like
I hate those.
I just
but yes.
pictured my adult. I hated it too, but I got like a membership, and so I had to go because I'm so cheap. I can't stand to use like anything that if I paid for it, I'm using it even if I hate it. And so I kept going, and there came a time like halfway through where it actually was like kind of like trippy, mind-blowing epiphanies like every time I went in there. And that was the first time that I ever pictured like my adult self just going to my little self and being like, this fucking sucks, girl. It really sucks. You deserve better. Let me hug you. Let me pick you up. Let me stay with you while you're alone. And then like my life was different after that weird float tank day.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Listen, float tanks aren't possible right now, pandemic. But I do love
Taking
this.
a quiet moment. Yeah. Taking a quiet moment.
I do feel like this is a nice thing to leave us all on. What?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a nice moment to end our pod on tonight. Shantira, I'm gonna is it weird if I visit you? If my spirit visits
I mean,
like, you can do that
here's
too.
the thing.
We
I
love you.
I know you love. Here's the thing. If you go to like 10-year-old me and you tell me that the girl I'm watching, because I there's 2 shows. I'm sorry that my power must have been too strong. So you and Malcolm in Malcolm in the Middle and Freaks and Geeks came out like I think the same year, and I like them both so much. I had no supervision when I was watching TV, so I was watching those 2 shows. And I remember being like, I have to watch both of these so they don't get canceled. I really put a lot of pressure on myself because I remember watching it being like, I like both of these shows so much. And I was like, I don't understand a lot about ratings, but I do know that they're both just starting. And I think a show that I really like called Wonder Falls had either just gotten canceled or something. But either way, I really liked the show.
loved
And I was
Wonder
like,
Falls. Yeah.
it was so good. And I was like, I really don't want this to happen to these 2 shows. So I'm sorry if all my power went to Malcolm in the Middle. But if you busy, if you went to like 11-year-old me and was like, hey, that show that you're trying to keep on the air, sorry, it's not going to happen, but you will get to work with Busy Phillips, I would be like, I've never met anybody on TV that's crazy. So please go visit me. And then I won't feel so bad because I really did. I really did blame myself a little bit because I didn't finish all the episodes. I did it and I was like, damn it. I missed the finale and I really fucked up. It was a lot of pressure on me to keep television shows afloat.
Oh my God. Well, listen, I guess all things being equal, this is controversial. I'll take Freaks and Geeks being canceled just so that we ended up here today. You know what I mean? So
I'll take it.
Okay,
but please go visit 10-year-old me because I'm about
to visit 10-year-old you. I'm gonna have one more Aperol spritz, and then I'm in.
Also, tell her she doesn't have to focus so hard on Malcolm in the Middle. They're fine. Maybe I should.
Yeah, they're fine.
Shift.
They're gonna be fine.
After watching them both, I was like, I don't need to worry about Freaks and Geeks. I got too complacent, and I put all my energy into Malcolm.
Listen, Frankie Muniz has season tickets to the Clippers. He's doing fine.
He's doing great. Yeah.
Still to this day. Well, you guys, this is it.
We did it.
Shantira, we did it. I love you so much. It's so weird. God, it's so weird. I just really love you so much.
See you later.
I know. I'll see you soon. I mean, obviously, but like, and you're gonna come back when you feel like it. But like, I am so eternally grateful to you saying like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, and giving so much of yourself to the people who listen to this podcast and to me and to Caissie and being so generous with your time and your energy. And you're just like, you are truly one of my favorite people in the world. And I always love what you have to say. And I'm going to miss you every week in this way, but I won't miss you that much because I'll be watching you online and we'll be texting
also, we have
and
a
all
group
that
chat
stuff.
whenever something gets
I know.
wild.
Group chat.
We're gonna be fine. I'm not super concerned about me. We're gonna be fine. But I just do want to say, like, I really appreciate what you've given to everybody, and I appreciate like how open you've been to receiving from people too, because I think that's really important. And look, you have a whole new body. Now you got a whole new bod.
I got a whole new bod, y'all.
When we started to make Busy Tonight, I think, we wanted to make a TV show. We had certain ideas about what we wanted to do. And, but also really at the heart of it, for me, the important thing was making a community. And I wanted to make a community that was people watching the show, but also wanted to make a community that was people working behind the scenes. And like that team was remarkable. You were a remarkable part of that team, and it ended prematurely. People say it all the time. People that I really respect in the business are like, they always want to talk about like what happened and why it happened. We were robbed. But I am so grateful that we got to like extend a little bit of what we were doing there. And it made me so happy today when you were talking about the community of this podcast and what that's meant for you. And because that's all I ever wanted to do. Like that's all my whole goal in life is to like make a virtual place where people can meet and just talk and see each other and hear each other. And you have been such a huge part of that. And I feel kind of funny because I feel like I'll be sad next week when we come back to do the podcast and you're not here, but right now I'm just really excited for you.
Me too.
Thank you.
You know,
Me too.
Thanks, you guys. I love you guys both so much. Like you changed my whole life when you gave me that job. Like I don't even think you know how important it was. And a wonderful community of women out here. Shout out to Nelson and Io, who the only two men who work there. Also, Eric,
They held down the fort.
Yeah, and then
Yes,
also Eric
yes.
popping in because you know we're gonna get a
Yes.
text message if I don't bring him up.
You will, for sure.
But you gave me such a wonderful community of friends out here, which is really hard to do when you're a grown up without taking a class. Such a wonderful community, a wonderful like place to work. Like it's really hard. Everybody has a horror story, and I've been fortunate to only have had like a couple, and they've all been men who aren't you guys. So there we go.
Not surprising. Not surprising.
But you created a really wonderful experience in my life after I had like a really hard time. So I'm forever grateful and really thankful for this community. So like at first it was a job and now I got a whole new body, and it's like shout out to y'all. Big things. I love you so much. I love this podcast. You guys listening, I love you. Listen to your bodies, listen to yourselves, be your own biggest advocate, and then post more pictures of your babies and your dogs, because that's my vibe.
That's her vibe.
You
That
can do
is
that. That'd be great.
100%. You guys, we love you. We do. Subscribe, download. We're gonna put
smash
new
that,
merch up.
smash that
Smash-
subscribe
Yeah.
button, baby.
Smash that subscribe.
subscribe, download. New merch is coming. We're working on it.
Oh, our merch is so soft,
Expanding
y'all. It's so soft. It's so
It's so
cute.
soft.
It's so soft, y'all. It's soft.
And
as hell.
guys, we love you so much. Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Oh no.